In the beginning, there was war. Two siblings clashing over dominion of a realm neither had ever intended to rule. When the dust settled, Avanda, the mother and moon, was the victor. However, even in this victory, Yath, her brother, could not be completely quelled. And so it is we have our night, and we have our day. Hi, welcome to Vornyana. There's a lot to cover to get you primed for what's coming, so I'll try to keep it as simple and sweet as I can while touching on all the basics. Vornyana is a world that has 16 hours of night and 8 hours of day. During the day, the sun is so hot that most creatures cannot stand to be openly exposed to it for more than an hour or two, with exceptions. You see, the sun and moon of Vornyana are seen as the gods. Avanda's heart, the moon, and the eye of Yath, the sun. Some races are born in the favor of Yath and are immune to the sun's punishing heat. These folk are known as Beaconborn. Notable Beaconborn groups would be Soulborn Halflings, Fire Ganassi, and Solari humans. Before we dive into the history and current events, I think it's important that we cover the Pantheon. First, the Major Divine. Avanda's Embrace is the religion that centers around Avanda, the Mother and Moon. She stands for justice, order, and peace, and is the most popular of the gods. Wrath of Yath is the religion that worships Yath, the Sun. His domains are wrath, revenge, and instinct. Morvog's Hunt is the religion that focuses on Morvog the Huntmaster. He is the cunning god that controls focus, patience, and presence, and was once the lover of Avanda, the father of Alestri. Song of Alestri is a religion that focuses on Alestri the harpist. She is the daughter of Avanda, her only. She cares for her uncle, visiting Yath daily by putting him to sleep with her music so his rage may be quelled, even for a time. Her domains are creativity, intelligence, and studiousness. Weepers of Rhapsidiu. This religion focuses on Rhapsidiu, the mourner. He speaks to the domains of sorrow, contemplation, and reflection, and is said to be the cause of rain. He has feelings for Alestri, but his closeness to her uncle prevents that from developing. And finally, Marlax Sentinels, who serve Marlax the Sentinel. Her domain is confidence, integrity, and decisiveness, and she is the lover of Avanda. She guards viciously the wall that protects her sacred home and employs her followers as guards of the realm. With those out of the way, let's speak on the Minor Divine. The Minor Divine are different from the Major Divine, as they do not have gods in the traditional sense. Rather, these are locations, creatures, etc. that have been given power from the amount of belief people have in their will. The Order of the Tide focuses on a creature called the Kraken, and is largely worshipped by fishermen, sailors, and seaside savages. The Crawlers are those who worships Torturon, a leviathan turtle that has a mountain on its back which people have built cities upon. Tomb Bearers, though they go by many names, are the group of assassins that follow the will of the Soul Watcher, a strange specter that lives on the Auric Isles, emerging only on the 1st and 4th day of each month. Guards of Anzarak. These are generally crazed folk who worship the fallen temple of Anzarak in the southern deserts of Timberschmidt. It's an abandoned ruin, and who knows why they're fanatical about it. Twilight's Eyes worship the Grove of Fallen Stars on the southeastern continent of Dotlan. A powerful crystal plummeted from the sky one starry night a long time ago, and brought with it a spring and pond and wonder. Alright, that's the whole Pantheon covered. Now let's get into the major land masses and then we'll talk history. Timberschmidt is one of 3 continents with lay anchors. The others include Morgrim and Levian. They are the 3 largest continents in the world of Vornyana. The other large land masses include Frasha, the Auric Isles, and Dotlan. There are smaller islands and places not worth mentioning in the grand scheme of things, but those are the bigger ones. Now for history. The story of Vornyana is very old, but the humanoid history only runs about 2,000 to 3,000 years back. According to the Imperium, and we'll get to who they are shortly, records of the world start with an event known as the Scorch. The Scorch was the creation of Vornyana when Avanda and Yath fought. The result of their divine conflict left the planet of Vornyana in existence and Avanda to rule over it, but Yoth keeps his eye on the world as well. Up until about 200 years prior to our story, there isn't much going on. Groups are beginning to spring up, cities built, and the standard warfare for control exists. In Timberschmidt, regions are created to separate cultural influences. In Levian, there is a booming mining industry, and the mines replenish themselves on a yearly basis. And in Morgrim, magic is being studied for the first time and broken down into 4 classifications. This is one of the major developments in Vornyana's history. Magic was not incredibly common about 400 years ago until a drow by the name of Gurn helped found the first arcanum in Morgrim. He determined that there were 4 classifications of magic: divine, arcane, pact, and wild. Divine magic is the kind that comes from druids, rangers, clerics, and paladins. It can be detected, but you can't pinpoint the source. In other words, you can tell when someone has casted divine magic, but you can't tell which god they summoned it from. Pact magic comes from ancient deals and rare, powerful secrets. It can be detected, and it always gives off a distinct source, so if it's Fey or Fiend or whatever. Arcane magic comes from the ley lines of the world and is drawn upon by studious casters. It can be detected and located with relative precision, and the source is always ley lines. And wild magic. It has no source. Only one class in Vornyana actually uses it, and that's sorcerers, but it cannot be detected and, as said, has no source. This makes it powerful, and not everyone can even tap into it. Humans have the most natural inclination for it, but they are far from the only ones who've used it. Well, 200 years after the founding of magical schools and the discovery of the types of magic, something happened. The early conflicts weren't recorded as they were brutal and sudden and very confusing, but later battles eventually became known as the Arcanagra. This is the first time we see magic at a destructive apex in the world of Vornyana, and the conflict ended with an assault on Morgrim's Arcanums by a Tarask. In an effort to save everyone, the now Archmagi Gurn created a magical detonation using his body as a catalyst and killed himself. The resulting blast destroyed nearly half of Morgrim and created a landmass which is now known as the Gurn Bay, or a lack of a landmass. As a result, the Arcanagra, about 120 years later, 80 years before our journey, creates the Imperium of Lorne. The coalition comes into existence as an effort to control the flow of magic and is a united front across 3 major continents. The edicts put in place strictly prevented the use of pact and wild magic and limited the use of divine magic based on the gods worshipped. This was followed a few years later by an event that has shaped the world today, the Anchoring. Several massive spires were drilled down into the ley lines of the world, and massive crystals known as true ley shards were used to catalyze the arcane flow like a spigot, effectively changing the access to magic for the majority of the world. Arcane magic is incredibly limited unless you possess a government-issued ley shard, which will allow you to cast more powerful spells. Divine magic is only allowed if you're a worshipper of Morvog, Avanda, Marlax, or Alestri. All other gods, major and minor, are considered heretical, and worship of them is prosecutable. Pact magic is strictly forbidden, and wild magic is dealt with when discovered by execution. A pact was signed to represent these beliefs, and a discussion was held at a council meeting about wild magic, the most dangerous of them all. Due to humans' rapid growth in the last 200 years and their natural inclination for wild magic, it was determined that the population needed to be culled. Humans had a largely tribal society that were born of the gods' blood. All humans, you see, are beacon-born, children of Yoth. But despite their attunement to wild magic and the divine, they could not stop the oncoming genocide. Now there are only roughly 8,000 to 10,000 humans left in the world, and they have been mostly driven into slavery and hiding. In addition, the Imperium began to take slaves of all beacon-born for their attachment to Yoth. Plenty of these two groups, human and beacon-born, still walk around, but it's dangerous for them to be alone, and so they tend to travel in groups or align themselves with guilds. The Imperium needed a way to control magic. There was no guarantee they could put a limiter if they didn't have some way to control the most common kind, arcane. So after the ley anchors were in place, and the ley shards a measure, the enforcement came. Enter the Anticarnum, or Spellhounds, as they are more commonly known. These elite knights of the Imperium are few and far between. They wield powerful weapons and are attuned to magic in a way that lets them seek out and destroy those who practice it illegally. They are virtually immune to spells and actually bolster their strength from their consumption. This makes illegal spellcasting very risky. And historically, that's roughly where our story picks up. Now, the last thing to cover is races and how they are different in Vornyana. There are differences among a lot of them, but I'll cover the main ones. By distribution, the population of Vornyana is mostly made up of elves and halfling, elves including drow. This is because they're more fit to survive in the dark, and other races without dark vision aren't. Since most of the time it's night in Vornyana, that tends to be the case. Elves have an eye for the arcane, and their collegiate erupted on Morgrim, where their population density is the highest, after Gurn discovered the depth of magic. He was the first drow, by their logic, and all drow share his bloodline. There are two schools of thought on this. Pureblood drow, who believe heavily that the more clean one's bloodline is, the closer to true drow you are, and those who give no shits. Other than that, you have dark elves, wood elves, etc., which are mostly found in Timberschmidt, but they make up a very small portion of the elf population. Halflings are everywhere. They are one of the most widespread races in Vornyana by far. There are many kinds of halflings, but the majority of them are known as soulborn halflings, which are beaconborn. They have tails and sharp teeth like demons, which speaks to their Yoth origins. Dwarves are a hugely political race in Vornyana, and the majority of their population is in Levian. They have the second most advanced technology and easily the most advanced non-magical technology. They are scholarly people, very prideful of their accomplishments, but they're rarely warfaring. They prefer bureaucracy. Dragonborn come in 3 flavors, and each is very different. The following are the Dragonborn subspecies. The Frostborn is a culture and a type of Dragonborn found in the mountain ranges of Timberschmidt, though mainly in the Vorgen range. They are the direct descendants of a massive white dragon who died on the peaks of the range, and they have built their civilization inside the bones of that ancestor. They are large, pale-scaled, and bulky with large horns and thick manes that run down their back to the tip of their long, thick tail. They are very honor-bound, and their culture centralizes around personal accomplishments, though they are very united in their families as they are a communal raising species. The Rain Finicky are a type of Dragonborn found in most of the islands of Vornyana. They have a habit of staying hidden and look like iguanas in the face. They have webbed feet, large eyes that can look in multiple directions, and a fanned-out tail. Their scales are far more amphibian, and they can swim excellently. In addition, they are incredible hunters, but they tend to live in small tribes. They do not have a breath weapon. Instead, they can camouflage when standing still for an extended period of time. The Sulyani are a culture of Dragonborn found in the south of Morgrim. Their empire, Sul-Ravan, named after their dragon god, is a bane of the Imperium, as it is between 2 ley anchors and a territory that restricts trade. They have the most advanced magical technology in the world and are diverse in culture and study. They typically wear plated armor with scale-like patterns and tend to be taller and have more Eastern dragon-like appearances than their other Dragonborn cousins. They have long snouts, wispy mustaches, and a thin rope-like tail. They are sleek and graceful. They also do not have a breath weapon, but can instead use their tail like a whip to strike, and they often blade it for combat. Beyond this, the other races of note don't have too much going on, but we'll touch on a few of them. Tieflings can be beaconborn or not, even though they are demonkin. They only have 2 colors, red and blue, and they reflect the amount of Yacht's blood. Tieflings with both colors are obviously of mixed parentage. The Tabaxi were not discovered until about 25 years ago. They are a seafaring race who live on the ocean, on a floating city known as Zoveran. They like to trade and boast and tend to challenge everyone they meet to contests as they are extremely prone to competition. Alright, that's everything I think you'd need to know to get started. If you have any other questions about the world, I can answer them on Twitter at Zalthir, Xalthir, or you can send them to @thehomebrewed, and I'll do my best. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast, and I hope you enjoyed as much as we enjoy playing it.
Hey guys, this is Oliver. I'm the editor for the podcast. I'm also the player for Rook, and I do pretty much all of the social media and a lot of the artwork that you see. We do get the DM a different mic later on in the podcast. Until then, it has a bit of white noise, unfortunately. I did my best editing, but at the end of the day, I'm not a professional audio editor or video editor or anything like that. So we do our best. Please let me know if there's any issues, if you have any trouble hearing this on certain devices or in certain locations, if you could put a timestamp or anything like that. We're just looking for a bit of feedback just to make sure that going forward I improve and make it better, and hopefully don't create any audio anywhere in the podcast where it's impossible to hear important moments, but you know, those will happen. If you have any questions, like I said, please leave a timestamp and a comment below, and just let me know what your issue is, and I'll do my best to resolve it in the future and see what I can do about fixing it. So thanks so much for watching as usual, and let's get to the episode.
Do it, kids. Are we recording?
We're recording now, yes.
Fuck yeah.
We are recording. And just as a warning, we do have a little a little baby with us today. And so if there's any baby noises, that's why.
Last time on Vornyana, the Eye of the World. Two unlikely comrades escaped from the prisons beneath the home of a pit fighter lord. During their escape, they met up with the blind tabaxi bard, Egon. No time to talk, rushed by guards, they moved as a group down the main road towards Yerlik. Combat and conflict, a blur of blood and steel. Jinx and Estra dueled the Minotaur that had been plaguing the town of Rostafan. Estra collected the hyenas and kept them busy while Jinx went toe-to-toe with the beast. Just as things were looking grim, Rook, Cassio, and Egg arrived. A swift judgment call had them brawling in moments, and as the battle ended, the guards and dogs could be heard in the distance. Still evading capture, they fled, with Estra following, to caverns in the plateaus to the east of the main road to Yerlik. Meb the Marvelous garnished her reward on Jinx's arrival from his hunt, and instructed several bands of mercenaries to watch out for folks hiding in the plateaus. Lucky for them, they evaded discovery until Meb herself happened upon them while traveling, and traded their freedom for one unique item in their possession, plus a favor. They were to get a chair from a local shop and bring it to her, shopping around for other goods as they went. Last they were seen, the group had succeeded their task and was headed to get drinks and eventually find a blacksmith in the Grand Market who could remove the shackles from Rook's wrists. Okay. And here's where we start. An afternoon spent mostly drunk as the group went away near a city tent that is near a tent city that is comprised of 15 large canvas shapes. Along the outskirts there are 3 carts that make up the caravan of Meb's marvelous mercenaries. As you have all discovered, each of these carts and tents is magically enchanted to be much larger on the inside than the outside. So keeping spellhounds away from these has become a big priority, as you've been told by some of the more loose-lipped mercenaries. The tent city seems to have somewhat of a reliable organization. There are 7 of the tents that are isolated for housing, 2 of them that are isolated for provisions, 1 of them that serves as a mess hall, 2 of them that serve as repairs, 2 of them that serve as maps and ledgers rooms, and 1 that serves as storage. And you guys are currently in that tent city, hanging out.
Rook's first order of business is pretty much going to be to go find this dude, this blacksmith that he was referred to go get his shackles off because he's getting tired of hiding his hands.
Cass still has his, but he just doesn't give a shit.
Well, Rook is going to want you to get those off.
Wow, we're just going to get caught again. They're going to just put them right back on.
No, Cassio, the whole point is to not get caught again. And if you're walking around with a big, "I'm a criminal," written all over your wrist.
Is everybody going, or what's up?
Yeah, Rook is going. I don't know who else is, but
I mean, Cass obviously has to go.
If you guys will look at you should all have the map available to you on your computers or tablets. If you'll look, Yerlik, every city that starts with an X space is a capital of that particular region. And you're in the region that goes by the name of Tepstir. Vok. You're in the region that goes by Vok, and you are in Yerlik, which is the capital of this area. It hugs the ocean. So just to the east of the city, like the city is situated like in a crest of hills with plateaus out to the east that just drop into the water, where you can see the Aglan Sea. all around you as you approach the city, you notice that it's surrounded by a large set of like flowing hills, and that the city itself is actually settled atop a plateau in the center of all of these sweeping hills. The tent city is actually downhill from the main city, which sits atop this this plateau. There's a huge, like 115-foot wall all the way around the city, except for in the front and back entrances. And a common problem is they don't let like caravans and stuff. If you want to stay in the city, you've got to either leave your stuff outside or pay for storage in the city. They won't let you like park it anywhere like near the city. You have to park downhill, which means that when there's heavy rains, like the people downhill get screwed. So usually when you know there's bad weather coming, you don't park near Yearlick. The main road that you guys took up, it cuts through to Yearlick, and on your way here you would have passed the two kennels that stand between Rostafan and Yearlick that are up against the plateaus.
The kennels are the things that hold the. That's where
the spellhounds are stationed. Just as you guys crest the hill and begin to go towards the city itself, to the east you can see breaking out just over the plateaus, like just far enough that you can see the slight reflections of the water of the Ogland Sea, and the moonlight shining down on them, causing them to kind of glow almost mysteriously as you pass up. The farther up you go, the closer you get to the large arching gate at the front of the city. The gate is actually a historical object that the city was built around. There were two gates on either side of the city, and then the city was attached to those gates. Like, they were there long before. And they've been dubbed the Gate of Broken Moons. And as you walk towards them, you notice that two monoliths of stone climb into the sky before connecting in an arc. Along their length, visages have been carved and brought to life from the still rock. Visages of shattered moons and unblinking eyes swarming one another in great passionate combat. Iron gates depicting reliefs of a symbol of Avanda are pressed open. And that's where you pass through as you make your way through the civilian district. And the civilian district is layered in 3 different layers that you pass. You go through the slums, you head through the homes, like the normal homes, and then you head through the manors, which are like the fancier homes, and then there's a small pause of like trees and like decorative plant life, and then right into the grand market, known as the lunar market. And there, you may begin your search for the blacksmith. A quick overview of what the grand market looks like. It's a very decorative bazaar that has several rows of tents that are like lined in a circle around a huge statue of Avanda, who is depicted as mostly a woman with strangely elongated features and really thin eyes with no mouth. And on her head, at the top of her head, there is a symbol of a crescent moon. And she has her hands pressed together, and she like looks over the city. And this bazaar, surrounded with the circle surrounding of tents, is also flanked by walls. And on these walls you have various shops that are more founded, as well as the one you can see, which is Whiskey's Wondrous Wares, the one that you guys visited before. In addition to that, there is an inn at the far end of the city that you can see, as well as some other diggeries to go around to. And in the distance, not too far off from the main thoroughfare where everything seems to be centered, there are bigger buildings that are like whole shopping centers or craft buildings. And somewhere to the northeast, you notice a tower of smoke rising from the city. So, what would you like to do, guys?
He'll head that way then.
Okay. You guys notice that all on the ground near the statue, where you guys have to kind of circle around and pass out. As you circle around the statue, you notice that there's like a bunch of debris and trash that were left over from the parade earlier. And when you pass up past that to like another small thoroughfare that crosses out into a 4-way intersection, you see on the corner up ahead to the right, probably a good quarter mile, a block-sized building. It is a massive 1-story structure, and it has smokestacks clambering out of the roof from several vents. As you get closer to this thing, you notice there are several archways along the outsides of it. The main building seeming to be like a top-heavy, maybe 12 feet of just rock, and then arches that kind of connect and hold the building up. And in between these arches, inside, it looks like a furnace just being cooked at. And the closer you get, the louder you can hear the clangs of hammer and the hissing of oil, and you can smell sulfur and charcoal being burned. This building almost creates a kind of music with its effort. And looking at a distance like a furnace, you notice that inside there are people walking around and working in this massive forge, a forge that is the size of a block. And there are people, citizens that are looking to buy things that are walking in there as well. On the front of the building, on all four sides, there is a big, large wooden sign that's been put up that identifies the building as the Stoked Flame.
Rook's first thought is, holy shit, I got sent to like the most popular blacksmith. He kind of thought this was gonna be like a black market deal, you know, like not the most popular blacksmith in town going to get these shackles off. But yeah, he's like, he kind of, you know, but he walks in because he got.
Would you say it's hot in the room? Like, with all the furnaces and stuff?
Oh, as you go inside, yes, it is uncomfortably hot. For most of you, this is probably the hottest you've ever been. Estra, you are not affected by the heat in the slightest. It doesn't seem to bother you. Your hyena, though. What's his name again? Kaz. Kaz is panting.
I'm holding him over so he doesn't fuck anything up.
It's
he
hot as
doesn't-
fuck in here.
It's a forge.
Yeah, I can comment on the heat.
He's gonna begin looking for this pyre fellow that he was told about.
Okay. Make a perception check, Rook.
Can I just yell, hey?
You can. You can. Would you like to do
Wait
that?
see who looks.
Would you like to do that?
Use pyre.
Yeah,
Rook
why
just
not?
freezes like.
Okay, go ahead and make your perception check. Estra.
I'll be doing that as you scream.
Yeah, Estra, you do that and roll diplomacy.
Okay, I got a crit fail, so he goes to look and then she
Lucky.
screams. Oh
Wait, you can't get ones.
I can't get ones.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
You always have a chance to
And
re-roll.
Allure is back.
Is it lucky, like, anytime you roll a 1, you can re-roll it, but you have to take the second result?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I probably am just gonna roll another one. But okay, not bad.
Don't forget your character sheets. Diplomacy is under your skills. Diplomacy, isn't it a skill?
Diplomacy is not a thing in this game.
What is it? Persuasion?
Persuasion.
Thanks.
I only got like a 7.
Okay. So you look around and you, coughing, say,
Who's pyre?
a few like of the nearby blacksmiths kind of like look at you as you like make a fit, and you're looking around to see if anybody, like, as you like go, what the fuck? You glance around and you don't see anybody react to like that. It was either he's not in this part of the building, or no, you weren't loud enough for him to hear you. One of the blacksmiths nearby, a tall wood elf with like curly black beard that comes all the way down his face into like these long white eyebrows that like come out past his ears. He has them tucked behind his ears.
I love ridiculous elf eyebrows.
And these big spiked ears that are just like filled with metal. Comes over and says, "You looking for pyre?
Yes.
I'm part of the Ignis Flame.
He reaches way up.
We're one of the guilds that's working out here. Pyre's been pretty good to us, helping redirect a little business. Part of a different guild, but I'll take you to him." And he takes a step away and moves over to where Pyre's at. It's a different part of the building, not too far from where you guys were, maybe about a good like 5-minute walk through the building to get there, navigating the different ways. You pass barrels of coal.
This is almost like
soot.
I'm getting the feeling this is almost like a bazaar, but a forge. Like
Yes,
okay,
and it's
wow.
hot and it's so sweltering, and
Like,
most
there's
of the people in
multiple
here.
forges inside
Right.
the building.
Like,
It's
like
not just one big thing that like one person is using while the people. No, it is like a whole shit ton of different.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
Like
and as
essentially
you-
stations.
Yeah, and as you walk through, you'll notice there are these like banners that have been planted in areas, and like they're either sometimes they're roped off, sometimes they're open, but these banners have been planted, and you do see one that is 2 torches like crossed like that, and it says Ignis Flame, which is, of course, the guy who is leading you right now is part of that guild. And he's shirtless, swole to hell, covered in sweat and ash, got burn marks all over him from where you can tell he's been working in this place for a while. And he takes you through one of the hallways past barrels and barrels of charcoal and soot, sulfur, all the different like chemicals that are used in blacksmithing, oils, weapon polish, like all these different things. And then you do see the occasional citizen who is fanning themselves with a hat, like making an order or checking on a commission. And he takes you around and around and around several of these stations, and eventually you come to a corner of the building. And based on what you can tell, having a corner is pretty important because everywhere else is open sides. Like anybody can like interact with you from all sides. Corners are two walls you ain't gonna have to worry about.
You get the corner office. You're like top of the line right now.
Yeah. So you go there and you notice it's quartered off. About 3 of these blacksmithing stations are quartered off, and there are a bunch of people in there working right now. You notice something about their outfits is that they're in leathers, but then there's like bands around their arm that like have different colors. You see a green, you see a yellow, and then you see one person with a band that is bright white, and it's right around the elbow. And they're standing near a piece of work that they're doing right now, and they're like looking at it, polishing out imperfections as they're glaring down at this piece of work. And you notice that the banner that's planted out in front of this station says "The Inspired Flame." You seem to think there might be a common naming trend between blacksmithing guilds where it's something flame. And you see the Inspired Flame, and the symbol is...
Oh, do you wish you would have told me about this in the car?
Oops.
I honestly don't have an idea right now. I was not thinking about this.
I can come up with something. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't want to do that.
No, I just...
Cool fire is cool.
It is actually the symbol of a shackle being broken by a hammer and pick. Like you see the strut that you would drive into the railroad spike that you would drive like into the railroad, and there's a hammer hitting it, and then a shackle being broken with a flame behind it. And it says...
Brooke kind of nods at it, and he's just thinking to himself, like, I think that halfling took this a little too literal, but we'll see.
And in the back, the person with the white band on their arm, currently working on the weapon, is...
Pyre, you're probably looking at him from the back at the moment, but you see he's just wearing, at the moment, just a single, like, leather, essentially waistcoat. Would be the best thing, with just simple like trousered pants with this bright like fire brick red skin and this kind of short, kind of pushed back white hair. At the moment, currently, essentially putting the finishing touches on a sword. It's already been quenched, essentially just polishing off any of the scratches that may have appeared on the surface and everything. It's just at his work table, not really paying much attention to anyone else.
And the elf that led you guys here like kicks Rook in the foot a little bit and then puts his arm, like his hand on your shoulder and says, "That's Pyre." And then he walks off.
Thanks. Okay. Rook kind of makes sure he looks okay, and then walks up to him and yeah, looks presentable, and walks up to him and hello, sir, Mr. Pyre.
He holds up his finger. Oh, he's like, he's going over the blade at the moment, and just a second.
Cass is gonna look over his shoulder.
And you see him finish, and then he, like, finishes rubbing out the blade, like he just finished putting like a nice coat of oil, and then he wraps the blade in what looks to be like kind of thin leathers, and you see him kind of brush off the thing. He stands up, and he's fairly tall. He's about 5'11" or so. This big, like,
by comparison to Jinx. But as you spin around, real quick, as you spin around, and you can finish your description, you do notice that there are 2 monstrous human beings.
Yeah.
Well, one of them is a Goliath. One of them's a human.
And then a tiny little man.
At this point, like barrel-chested, the huge forearms of like a man who's worked in the forge for the past 15 years. Kind of like looks like he has like a belly, but it's literally like solid muscle.
Yes.
And turns around and brushing himself off, and you can tell pretty much everywhere else on his body is completely hairless. except for the top of his head, and turns around and yes, you.
Rook holds his hand out. He's got a shackle like on his wrist to shake your hand.
Hi,
my name's Rook. I was told that I could come to you for this little problem here.
What exactly seems to be the issue?
Well, I'd lost the key, and I just need someone to get it off.
Jingle jangle. Jingle jangle.
And preferably his as well before we strangle him.
So you both lost the keys to your shackles.
Yeah.
That just magically appeared on your wrists.
They were getting a little. They were getting a little.
It's a sex thing. It's a sex thing.
Make a deception check.
I got an 8 on insight.
Is it a 1? You get to roll it. Lucky.
You fucking took that for a reason.
I'm playing a halfling for a fucking reason, bitch. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this like over 17?
Is this like
Did
a
you get
limited
more than
time
an
per
8?
day? Yeah, I got a
No,
17
Loki
plus.
is the halfling for free.
It's no more alert.
Yeah.
What's the deception
A
skill?
17 plus like fucking 4.
Yeah.
Jinx is gonna add
No, he got an 8 on the insight.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to get there, but I figured if you asked, it's best to be honest with these things.
Yes,
could
I
just-
could get the shackles off.
Okay, and now I can pay you obviously for the trouble.
It's literally just popping off one of the hinges, and I can just melt it down for scrap.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you want, yeah.
Put your wrist on that anvil over there.
He goes and kind of sets it down awkwardly.
So are both of your hands shackled?
Both.
They're not shackled together anymore.
Yeah,
But
Okay,
they have
broken.
shackles on them
Yeah,
with
okay.
chains just kind of hanging.
Right.
Yeah, so he walks over to the wall where there's just a whole assortment of tools and picks and different sized hammers and everything, and he grabs, he comes back and he looks at the shackles and, that's too big. And comes back and takes another pick and then takes the hammer and, don't move. And he kind of adjusts your wrists. It's where like part of the shackle's hanging off and places the pick and then swings, just boom, and imagining with shackles, is it just like a bar that goes through with?
Yep. And
Yeah,
you
and
just
just-
crack it.
Yeah,
Easy.
and ping, and it just clatters to the ground. Other wrist.
He puts his other one up there.
Ping.
All right, Cass.
Cass, your turn.
It's worth noting that you've tried to put the wrist wraps on over the shackles.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. And you're sitting there currently with half of a wrist wrap on each shackle, just kind of jingle jangle.
He probably picks up the manacles and throws them where it looks to be like a scrap metal pile. They're just kind of just accumulating.
And
against one of the
as you
walls.
toss that to the scrap metal pile, one of your it's not one of your apprentices, but one of the journeymen that works in the shop with you that has an apprentice walks over and says, "Got a minute? Sorry, folks, got a minute?
Why?
The guild stuff. Come on."
Yeah, sure.
And so he steps
Be
away.
right back.
He steps away with this guy for a second. You guys are all kind of alone for a minute.
Rook
here.
is just like rubbing his wrists, like so thankful that those things are off.
Cass is shaking his wrist, but he looks a little sad.
He'll get them off. Just give him a minute.
Oh, I thought he already did.
No, he hasn't gotten them.
Oh,
back
okay.
yet.
Jingle jangle, jingle jangle.
I thought you were looking sad because they were still on.
No, I was sad because he took them off, and I thought they weren't going to jingle anymore.
Of course.
You come back a few minutes later. It wasn't anything super important, just
Okay. Yeah.
general guild stuff.
So, what was I doing? Oh, so shackles. You're getting them off still. Great. Put them on the anvil.
All right, come on, Cass. Cass, put your arm out.
Do I have to hold your arm? You want me to hold your arm? I can hold your arm.
I just don't understand why we're going to do it.
Because you can't walk around with shackles on your wrist. It looks bad.
They're just going to put them back.
Who's gonna put them back?
Me.
Make me.
Hey, if he doesn't want to take the shackles off, leave them on.
Hold both of his arms over the thing.
Oh, it's fine. It's his choice. Let him make his own decisions.
I don't want people to get the wrong idea. You know, I don't want people to think he's not a thief.
Well, apparently you
he's
think
just
it's some sort of kink. What's?
but first impressions.
Well, you came to me. What's the issue?
You guys can keep talking. You need to make an athletics check, and you need
shit.
to make an athletics check.
15. 15. Come on.
23.
Motherfucker, that little. Yep, slippery bitch.
What'd you get? So you
15.
go like, as they're talking, you go like, oh, to grab his hands, and he's like, ah, jingle, jingle.
Basically, Cass actually kind of does like this. Like this is like the first time everyone's really getting to see him move. So he actually moves very fluidly. So the moment he goes to grab him, he's just like whoosh.
And he's shaking him.
Jingle jangle. In fact, it looks like he's dancing more than he
And
is.
Jason's like snatching, like trying to get his hand.
Fuck it, we cut his hands off.
Hey, quit messing around in the forge.
I wasn't fucking around. I was going to really cut his hands off.
You can either respect the forge or leave.
He immediately puts him on the anvil, just knife hand style.
I guess he wants him off now. He's a little, you know.
Seems fine to me. And tang,
And then he puts the other.
tang.
Thanks. He moves his wrist and no jingle jangle. And he's just like, fine. And he starts messing with his reps.
It's really interesting, Cass, because as you put the wraps on, you begin the attonation process. You're not really sure, obviously you as a player know, but you're not really sure what they do yet.
Yeah.
What you do know is that after you put them on, they feel warm. They tighten to like fit your wrists and hands perfectly without getting in the way of your like fists. And you're like, wait a second. You feel the urge that you need to throw 100 punches.
As soon as he puts them on, he looks at his hands, and then he slowly looks up, and then punches Rook in the arm.
Ow! You what?
Hey, I've already said not to play in the forge.
Gladly, I don't.
I'm sorry. I had this urge. I can't describe it, but I had to.
Then
punch
wait
something.
until you leave.
Yes, sir.
No, is that all y'all came to me for?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, if you don't want payment, I guess we're done here.
So, a sex kink? That's the story you're gonna stick with?
Yeah.
Cassio's like slunched to the side a little bit. He's still standing, but he's got like a little sway to him, and he's like digging in his nose.
I have a humiliation one too, if you can't tell.
Your hyena is like whimpering on your shoulder.
I'm gonna like squat down and put him on the ground and give him some water and put water on his face.
Yeah, so you lather him in water and give him some water. One thing that you do notice though is that as you're sitting there like dusting the hyena off, one of the city guard, now not a spellhound, but a city guard who's wearing like the uniform of Yerlik is a collared like leather duster that like goes straight up, comes up around here, a tricorn hat, a claymore across the back, a short sword at the hip, and leathers all the way down with a huge symbol of Avanda on the center of the chest painted in white. And one of these guys is walking through the forge and sees the hyena and stops and just kind of looks at it.
I look at him and I'm like, can I help you?
Cute dog. And he keeps walking.
But if we're done here, I have orders that I need to fill.
Oh, okay. Well, it was nice meeting you. We may be in town for a while, so you might see us again.
You spin around to leave, and that guard that was standing near you and the dog kind of like is standing there like looking at the dog, and then steps in the way.
Is there a problem?
We can do this easy. We can do this hard.
Is this another sex thing?
Is that what he told you was going on?
He's really good at role playing. Won't break character for nothing.
I mean, it's only one city away. You're not slick.
We're what you call it, polymorphic.
What exactly did you bring into my guild?
What did I bring into your guild?
Yes.
Well, nothing.
If you brought trouble, then you need to leave now.
I was trying actually, but this fellow wants trouble.
Wants trouble. No, I want the law. And you broke it, so you're going back.
What's the nearest exit?
The nearest exit is over one of the forges or under his legs.
I can do under his legs.
All right, make an acrobatics check. He got a nat 20.
Well then, fuck it.
So you slide and the guy like he flicks the sword out and then sticks it in your cloak, and you whoop and like hit the ground, and he says, one more move and you're dead, kid.
He's gonna cast sleep.
Go for it. You gotta roll your dice.
So I think 25.
25. You cast it, and you see it go. Him go. Ugh. And he just eats shit right there on the ground.
Is that like all him? Like
that is all him. That is literally how many hit points he has.
Oh shit!
Oh my god.
So Rook, like what you see is Rook tries to make an escape. The guy like stabs him in the cloak. Rook then spins around like as he's spinning, and he throws a card, and it just like hits the guy in the face, and the guy just falls.
He goes and hits the ground.
Pyre's gonna try and come up behind you and grab you.
All right, that's an athletics check versus an acrobatics check.
That is a 19.
Nope. You grab him.
So Pyre comes up and just grabs you.
So
and
this guy goes to the ground, and you're like trying to yank your cloak free from the sword.
And you just feel clamps on your arm as he just picks you up.
Ah, hello.
What did you do?
I freed him.
Hey.
He was a slave, and I freed him. And they're really mad at me.
I'm a top fighter.
I would say I stole something, but they caught me before I stole anything, so technically all I stole was him. I'm just being honest. Honesty is the best policy, now that I'm caught.
Now that I've lied to you.
Now that I'm caught. I love it.
I would die for Rook.
I would too, dude.
You do realize what you just did, right?
If you drop me right now and just let me go, they'll think I just ran.
And you just made me and my guild an accomplice.
No, I did not, because they didn't. You can just say I didn't know anything, and you'll technically be telling the truth. Come on, let me
This
go.
isn't finished. And he sits you down.
Look, thank you. I will repay you. I promise. And he just bolts. Cass, let's go.
Come.
Esther picks up Cass and is like, I guess we're moving.
All right, sorry about this. I'm out of here.
So as soon as everyone's gone, Pyre takes it's buckets of water for like quenching and stuff, and he just takes a ladle and just throws it on the guard's face.
And he stands up like suddenly and like grabs the
right.
claymore and then pulls his sword and a scrap of cloth and he rips it off. And he's like, did that fucker use magic on me?
I don't know.
He pulls a whistle out from his coat.
Can we hear the whistle as we're running away?
Yes, because the more go off.
Shit!
You hear the front of the city as you guys are making a run for the city. You hear the gates starting to close. What do you know about him?
Came in, said he had shackles for some sex thing and couldn't get him off. Shackles are over in the corner if you like.
He picks up the shackles. Thank you. He goes off, and as he leaves, I mean, they don't seem to be bothering you. He just wanted to know what you knew, and he took the shackles. You guys are making a run for the gate, and you see the gate starting to close, and out in front of the gate, on either side of the gate, are two silhouettes step out.
Oh boy.
They're about 8 feet tall, covered in armor.
Rook immediately, like, as soon as he hits an alley, he turns down the alley.
You're in the slums. Okay. So what happens is, you're running, and Rook's leading this group. As you guys see, you see Rook go, and he turns, and he is over their wall that's about maybe 10 feet tall, and he is over it in like a second into the slums and vanishes.
Egg follows him.
So you scramble over the wall. Anybody? What is everybody else doing?
I'm 8 foot tall, so I can literally just grab the top and then
Bolted.
do that fence hop thing. Over.
So is everybody going over the wall?
I'm forging a sword.
This is gross, but she puts Kaz in her mouth. She like scruffs him with her mouth so she can get up the wall.
And then you climb. You need to make an athletics check for that.
He's just small enough.
You've got to make an athletics check for that.
12.
That's enough.
Okay,
So you,
thank God.
and with the dog in your mouth, then you throw the dog over and then sidle over the wall. And everybody is gone. The spellhounds, they watched where you went, but they didn't move from the gate. You were the last one over. So as you go over, you like look, and the spellhounds, like the gates go, and they close, and the spellhounds turn back to the road. And you see coming down the road like 2 or 3 guards that are looking around, and then they run over to the gate, and that's when you go over the wall, and that's the last you see. Knocked over and abandoned buildings make up this immediate layer inside the city just beyond the gate. They are fenced off by 15-foot walls. Sorry, 15-foot walls, but you guys would have still been able to get over them pretty easy. By 15-foot walls, so that the scene cannot be regularly witnessed. Here, as you cross over, you enter a dilapidated, dark, destroyed ring of buildings that goes out about 400 feet into the interior of the city and runs around the inside of the wall. There are still some standing two-story structures, but most of them are all decrepit and decayed, and you just see like small tents that have been erected. This is where the gangs and the criminals and the poor and the beggars live.
You feel at home, Rook?
And as you all land on that side of the wall, an old man who is sleeping near the wall next to you goes, and he gets up and he...
Hold on, old-timer. and he pulls out a silver and is like, hey, dummy, you know any good dives to hang out for a little bit?
Are you looking to stay out of sight?
Yeah. No legal problems, if you know what I mean.
There's the Silhouette Inn.
Silhouette Inn?
That place is on this side. But if you're looking for something to keep a public eye, Beatrix Burlesque might be more your field. That is connected to the Grand Market, but there's an entrance on this side.
He gives him the silver.
Thank you.
Burlesque sounds really good to Jinx, just so you know. Like, we could go, like, hide out and watch a burlesque show.
Well, some of us will watch.
You guys are making your way through the slums, and you're headed towards... You don't know. You've only been told that these places exist. You weren't told where they were.
He's gonna ask around.
Okay. As you pass,
And also, everybody he visits just kind of be like, "We weren't here." Give them like a silver, you know, like.
Okay. I'll say in that case, it takes you about 4 people of talking. So 4 silver. Go ahead and take that out your inventory.
Yep.
Of talking before you run into somebody who actually knows where this place is. He's a half-orc. He's got an interesting scar under his eye where it like drops down and hooks like a fish hook. Yeah. And you see up like at the tops of his arms, his leathers like connect to fishnet. That like an actual fishnet that goes up. That goes up right here and on this side as well. And he looks like a burly sort, and he looks relatively healthy. You don't necessarily, he doesn't look quite as in place here as everybody else does. But he says, yeah, I can take you to the burlesque show if you're looking to go. And then you slip him the silver, and he says, of course, anything for a good friend. Jim, was it? Let's go, Jim. And he starts leading you guys over to a section of buildings that is mostly all fallen inward towards a single stone structure where the entire roof has collapsed in. There's just piles of rubble around this one building. It looks like it was an old church. And here you walk through the pews, and at the back of the building there is a trap door that's been lifted open. You're led through a very dark tunnel underneath the city. You at one point, this tunnel intersects with the sewer system, and he says, okay, over the bridge. Then your journey eventually takes you to the end of this tunnel where there are black curtains, and a person is standing there with their arms crossed, standing there, and he goes, what's this? They're friends, here to see the show. Jim and his compatriots. All right, Jim, come on in. And he pulls the curtain aside, and up above you can hear the sounds of live music being played, and you all walk in?
Yeah.
You come out into a storage closet that is very clearly a fake, through another set of black curtains that are closed behind you as you exit, and out from this back door, behind the dressing rooms, and into the main area. It's a stout structure, very small building, and it's got rows of seats around the stage. You see private rooms off to the sides. You see mixtures of men and women of all shapes and sizes that are kind of available. The crowd is sparse. There's not very many people here. Okay, I want to pull away from this scene for a second. I want to go to our boy over in the forge area.
Your boy Pyre.
Somebody walks in, and you hear some kind of like gibbering off in the distance, and then somebody says, "Right over here, Mom," and points to, you hear behind you, like taps you on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Hi, name's Meb. And she offers her hand out.
Pyre.
It's a pleasure to meet you, really. You wouldn't have happened to see like a short guy, a really tall guy, another really tall guy, a dog, cat, and
Yes.
Good. Any idea where they went?
They ran off after one of them cast magic on some guard.
Thanks.
Why? What'd they do?
They're wanted.
Oh.
Look, long story. You do commission work, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. My blacksmiths suck, and I need things repaired. How much are you looking to take on right now? That's the original reason I came here. I just figured that while I was here, I'd ask.
Coincidence. It depends on what you're looking to get done. Why?
Well, boys, and behind are like 6 boxes full of broken equipment, like swords that have been scratched and dented, like set down like in your area.
Yeah.
And she says, "Ta-da!" and motions to the crates. I mean, clearly it's not just for you and your whole shop. We want a commission.
I mean, I'd have to talk to my boss, but I mean, it's possible we could.
Yep.
No. It's possible we could get this done. How quick are you looking to get this done?
Well, depending on how much trouble they got in. A day or 2.
You want these 6 boxes of broken and bruised and dented swords and armor in a day. You want to commission the whole forge?
Okay, what's the least? If I paid you well, what's the least?
A week.
A week? I can make it work in a week.
You'd have to pay a rush order and get put ahead of everyone else.
That's fine. Whatever it costs, but I need it done in a week.
If you're looking purely at cost effectiveness, then you want to get new shit, but I'll do whatever you ask, assuming you're willing to pay.
Ma'am, should we head back to the caravans? Yes, head back to the caravan. She takes a seat.
I mean, I could...
Paya, what drives you?
What?
What drives you?
Blacksmith.
But what makes you do the things you do?
I mean, it's my job. It's how I pay my respects to the people who got me out of where I was.
And how do you feel about it these days?
It's getting monotonous.
I can see it.
Where are you going with this?
You don't like beating around the bush, do you?
No.
I need a good blacksmith to teach my blacksmiths how to not suck. And you get to be on the road. And you get paid really well. And you can spread the word of your guild all around the country. Consider it. It's not something you have to make a decision on today. But I meant the original reason I came here for was to ask you about this.
Right.
I've been scouting talent in the city. There's only a handful of you people that are even worth looking at.
Well, I think about it. I still have to talk to my boss to see if he'd be fine with me leaving the forge. We're paying a pretty penny to be where we are. But, sure. I'll give it a think.
Oh, she whips out a small card. And it's made from like pressed parchment that's been lacquered, so it's nice and hard. And she hands it to you. She says, "New thing I'm pushing, business cards." And she hands it to you, and it says on it, nice font, "Meb's Marvelous Mercenaries."
Nice name.
Starts at Meb, ends at Mercenaries, and she walks off. And then one of the soldiers like comes back, and he's like, "Fucking!" And he picks up one of the crates. And then you see him like as you're sitting at the forge. Every about 15 minutes, he comes back and grabs another crate.
What is with today?
All right. Back to the burlesque place.
Cassio's going to town, so...
So, Cassio, just go ahead and get rid of a gold.
All my gold?
No, 1 gold.
Oh.
I did not say all your gold. How did you even... If you want to spend all your gold on booze today, you can.
I was really stunned for a moment. I was like, what?
Egg just goes over to Rook and is like, can I try it?
Can you try what the ale? You want to try the ale?
Who the fuck? Someone's calling me.
You won the lottery. Fuck off. I'm playing D&D, bitch.
Fuck off!
Rook kind of looks over at Egg and then shrugs and just offers him the ale.
He doesn't realize you have put.
It's in front of your face.
He like feels for it and grabs it and sips it and he's like, makes a face. He's like, oh, people enjoy this?
No.
A silhouette moves up next to you, Rook, and plops down in one of the seats.
He looks.
That's a figure wearing a hood and a cloak. And they kind of look over and say, "What the fuck did you guys get yourselves into?"
Is that you, Meb?
No, it's a fucking Wizard of the West. Yes, it's Meb.
Look, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just getting those shackles removed, and then a guard came and started trouble, and he caught me, and so I did what I had to do to not get caught. Well, what do I say next time?
Go, take me to Meb. Take me to Meb's Marvelous Mercenaries.
I don't think they're going to take me to Meb. I think they're going to...
call Meb or go get Meb.
What are you, my lawyer?
Sure. Why not? I represent you now.
I didn't know. I figured...
Hey! She turns around.
He slowly looks.
The guard has his hat back on. He's kind of stumbling a little bit. He's like, I'm off duty, but you guys... You two look familiar from the description. And Meb looks at him and says, you really don't want to do this, man. Just go enjoy the show and sit down. No, I gotta...
You gotta finish off a drink, don't you?
He pulls out like the little whistle, and Meb walks over and goes, come on, buddy. And she grabs him by the shoulder. He says, and she hits him in the stomach, and she puts her hand over his mouth. And she says, man, look, if you've got to throw up, I can take you to the back. And she walks over.
Rook gets up and leaves.
So you guys come back out into the Grand Bazaar, and you see like a small patrol of guards like moving throughout the bazaar now. Out from behind you, Meb steps out and goes, come on, what are you doing? Let's go. You guys go towards the gate. You walk through the bazaar, through the districts. It takes you about 20 minutes to get there. Nobody stops you. Meb's just kind of leading the way. And she gets over there, and the gates are still closed, but you can see there's a small, so they're mostly closed, but there's an area where you can pass through, and they're just checking everybody. And she steps up, and they like do her the once over, and she does like, ta-da, and then walks out, and then everybody else comes through, and when it gets to Cassio, they spin him around, pull the hood back. The spellhounds like give him a look him over, and let him go through. Rook, you step up, and they motion for you to spin around.
He holds his arms out and spins.
They look you over. One of them looks at the other one.
He just smiles.
They take a step back, and Meb goes, "Their problem." One of the spellhounds like walks over to Meb with this giant fucking claymore.
There appears to be one, yes.
What is it?
This man has a lay shard on him.
A what? A what?
A lay shard.
Is he licensed? And she holds up her like little business card. Said,
how many are you licensed for?
And they have a quick bureaucratic discussion about licensing of lay shards and shit. And by the end of it, you're allowed to walk through.
Okay.
Yeah, prick.
Oh. I need to get off this damn continent.
It doesn't get much better anywhere else, to be honest.
Look.
Well, thank you, Meb. I'm sorry for causing trouble. Yeah. Although I probably should also be apologizing to that pyre fellow.
Oh, I went and talked to him for you. Don't worry about it.
Oh. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Why?
I know.
I wanted to find out what
Please
you guys
no.
were up to. Oh. How else am I supposed to fucking find you? I mean, you made a big shit.
I know where this is going. Oh God, no.
You didn't stop him. It's these are the people you said were cool.
I didn't say they were cool. I just said we shouldn't throw them to the fucking dogs.
Okay, well then I mean.
Also, why the fuck am I the one that got to watch these guys?
Do not test me today, Jinx. I'm not in the mood for this shit.
Me either. I missed a fucking burlesque show.
You didn't have to leave. You weren't in trouble.
Yeah.
No, you.
Ooh.
None of that shit. You can get drunk as much as you want here. I don't care. You getting drunk in public and acting the ass, and you're gonna get caught.
Cass looks like a dog that just got scolded.
Do you guys want to be safe or what? How about not casting sleep on city guards?
What else was I supposed to do? That's what I usually do. You didn't tell me anything new to do. I did ask you when I joined if what I did was okay. You
I
said
did
yes.
not know that was going to include illegal magic.
I mean,
Literally nobody told me that.
fair. Okay, well, yes, I cast illegal magic.
Now that I know that, I have precautions we can take. I can give you all kinds of cool little tricks and trinkets.
So for future reference, guards love my ass. So what do I do when a guard gets on my ass?
Allow me to at least try to bribe them first. I have literally 5 gold set aside for this every fucking
I
time.
want to pay them?
Well, we got to. It's either that or get captured and have to break out and be running from every single city we take work in. Doing what you do is fine, but let us play the game we're used to playing too.
Okay.
Or just go. I don't care. You're
No.
not stuck here.
I like being here. Just if it's a problem, I'll have to go.
She sits down.
Well, considering that, you know, I guess a prized possession is what you call it. I mean, that whole that on the run thing is kind of just gonna be my life. Like, they're going to catch me eventually. I've seen it happen countless times. I've even been on the hunts. It's gonna happen.
What do you mean you've been on the...
Well, I'm the best fighter. I'm the fastest. I'm the strongest. Someone goes on the run, I go and get them.
So you're kind of like a dog, too.
In a sense, I just don't walk on all fours.
Yet.
I mean, I have, and then I got a good lashing as punishment, but not as bad as the drowning, though. The drowning kind of stinks. But, what was the worst punishment I ever got? Getting my tooth pulled out was pretty bad.
Oh, that didn't just come out on its own?
Nah, and then they shoved this gold one right here.
Are you positive that was a punishment and not dental care?
Still hurt like a bitch. Y'all ever had y'all's damn tooth pulled out?
No, I brushed my teeth.
I had one knocked out once, but, Meb's medical plan is fucking on point.
It's Meb's marvelous medical plan.
They fixed the tooth right up is great. Seriously, did you guys even read the contract you signed? It is an awesome medical plan.
I don't read contracts. Do you read the fine print?
Yes!
Oh.
I deal with Meb, on a constant basis. I have to read the fine print.
I might give it a read
One
over.
time he ended up having to wear a tutu for a year.
Yeah.
Because, Rook suddenly really wants to read his contract.
Oh, it's too late for you.
Yeah, you already signed it.
I know, I just want to know now what I'm getting myself into.
Joke's on y'all, I can't even read.
Cassio, you can't say joke's on you, I can't read, because at the end of the day, that joke is very much on you.
Like, you really can't read?
I know how to punch.
That usual look of disdain and hate just flashes ever so quickly to a look of sadness on his face.
You really can't read. That's so fucking sad.
Meb's Marvelous Mariachis play Despacito.
I love the Meb's Marvelous blank meme now. This is going to be great.
All right, well, you guys get some fucking sleep. Wake up in the morning, meet up with me, and I'll get you guys something to do.
Rook's going to go read his contract to bed.
In the fine print, it says, upon death, your feet are mine.
Halflings do have lucky feet.
You guys are put up in one of the tent houses, which are literally on the inside of the housing tents. There is a fire pit in the center with chairs and like a lounge. There's a kitchen off to the side for you to like go and request food. And then it's just like 6 stories of like circular balconies where you like walk up the stairs to the level and there's like 13 rooms. Then you walk up the stairs in like 13 rooms. And you see people going in and out, and she gives you keys to 3 of the rooms, a room for each of you.
Holy shit.
And then she hands you a dog bowl, Estra. She hands you a small dog bowl and says, I put Kaz on. I think I spelled it right. And she hands it to you.
Cass walks up when he sees this, and he holds his hand out.
Oh.
What?
Well, I don't get a bowl too.
What do you want one?
I mean, what am I gonna drink out of?
A cup.
I mean, it's different in a bar setting, but I thought, this is gonna be the same thing as.
No, you're a person.
Well, I had a fancy gold one, so I just assumed.
You want a fancy gold cup? I can get that. We can make that happen.
No, I was expecting one of those. Put it on the floor.
Do you want that?
I mean, that's what I'm used to.
But do you want that?
No.
Would you like to try it the other way?
I'll try anything twice.
I'll go get the fucking cup.
He just looks at it and he's just like,
Do you want it monogrammed?
man, this one's fancy. They got a handle and everything.
Yeah. It's a big cup.
I'm used to it being flat.
Do you see now why I want you to watch these people?
You want me to watch that? I mean, give me the fucking hyena. I can do something with that. But,
No.
Well, why don't you train Cass?
Also no.
Rook is taking a break. Rook's door is locked. Cassio is not in there.
Or so you think, Cassio.
Rook wants a break.
And Meb stops him at his room and like points him at the room and says, "That's yours in there.
You take the key.
Here's the key."
You put it in the door.
She puts it in your hand. She follows Jinx's motions.
And you turn it.
There we go, just like that.
You hear the click.
And
the lock is
now
open.
if you grab the knob and you
Twist.
and in you are.
He goes, and you can come and go as much as you like.
Oh my god.
This is weird. Are y'all going to come get me, or am I supposed to, like...
You can leave when you want to. If you have to go to the bathroom, it's at the end of the hall.
Well, it's a bathroom.
It's a...
Good luck! She runs off.
I hate you sometimes.
I know.
There's no way he's going to risk Cass pissing and shitting in the fresh, clean room.
It sounds really awful, but if you think about it, I mean, considering how Cass was raised, that is probably something he would do.
Yeah.
He'd find like a corner or a bucket and just go in it. Like,
Jinx is like, no. Opens the door, finds Cass in the corner.
No.
It's funny.
picks him up while he's peeing like a dog.
No.
It would be so funny if it wasn't sad. Well, I can't stop it when I start.
Jesus fucking Christ. And he runs to the end and kicks the bathroom door in, breaking the fucking hit. Ugh.
And you see, Rook is in his room, laying in his
He
nice,
hears all of this.
nice, comfortable bed that's like huge to him. It's like a normal sized bed. He's like teeny tiny. He's laying in it under the covers, reading his contract. He's got some glasses on, and he's just loving it. Like he's listening, and he's just like, not me, not today, Satan.
Pyre, you return and you go retire to your room for the evening, and you still have Meb's card.
It doesn't change. Like it's not like a holographic card.
It's really
is it?
funny, actually. Every time you look at it, about every 5 minutes, it changes from marvelous to magnificent to magical to mediocre to
Motherfucking.
Meb's motherfucking mercenaries.
You see him like summon a like little flame in his hand. And he's like going back and forth on whether to burn the card or not. Nah. Well, might be something new. He kind of sets it on his desk and goes to bed.
What are we doing now? Rook finally got a little break, got himself a nice nap, some tea, smoked on his pipe, read his contract, found out that his feet are forfeit when he's dead. Doesn't really care about that.
Because he'll be dead.
Yeah, because
Cass is asleep face down in his floor.
You guys are woken up to the sound of Meb screaming outside. Get up here! It's training time!
Do we have to do that? Do I have to do that? I'm going to stay here. I don't think I have to do that.
And he hears knocks on your doors. Don't.
Get the fuck up.
For now, Rook is just in like a normal shirt, some trousers. He's not done up in all his like leathers and stuff.
Today's yoga day.
Yoga?
So, yeah, you hear click. Come on, Cass. Time to go. And he just reaches down, grabs his ankle, and start dragging him with the rug and everything.
I
then we go down
overheard
the
last
steps.
night you had a little trouble with Cass using the restroom in the wrong place. He looks around. He's like, "You got it cleaned up pretty well."
Yeah, we're pretty good on the cleaning schedule. You're you're up for next week, just so you know. It's on the board over there.
And then you're going down the steps here. Thump, thump,
Ow,
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 thump.
Wow, you guys got on the 3rd floor. I didn't really expect that. Thump,
ow,
thump,
ow,
thump,
ow,
thump, thump,
ow,
thump.
ow.
And you guys are doing yoga, and Meb's leading it. And she's like, "All right, everybody, now to the right."
Oh my god.
Nice and slow. You're gonna reach all the way. And all these like big burly men and women who are like part of her mercenary squad are like leaning all the different shapes and sizes. Oh, okay, good. All right, now the other side. Everybody, come on, lean with me. Oh, yeah. Oh, all right, now forward. This goes on for the better part of an hour, and then she's like, "All right, breakfast is ready in the mess." You see 2 soldiers run up and they bring effectively what is like a big chair, and they set it down in the middle of camp, and they set down like a table and a pen, and like they basically set up Meb like a makeshift desk in the middle of camp, and she sits down at it, and she pulls out some glasses and puts them on, and sits down at the desk and just kind of stares off into the distance, waiting for people to come and talk to her.
She turns to an actual NPC.
Above her head, a very small exclamation point appears. No.
Cass watches everyone eat.
And go get food. And he starts.
Am I allowed?
Yes, just get in line. You know, grab a tray.
Behind the counter, there is a man, and he's like ladling out food, and he's like, "Oh, good morning to you." And he's like handing the food off. He's like, "Oh, what can I get you?"
Am I allowed to have all this?
"Yes, what did you like?"
Everything.
"Everything it is." And he just piles up a plate that looks just like Jinx's and sets it up there. He's like, "I recommend using both hands to carry it."
And he places it next to Rook.
Hey, bud. You had some trouble finding the bathroom last night?
Oh, the fancy bucket? Yeah.
Yes.
Fancy bucket.
The fancy bucket.
The everyone bucket? Yeah, that thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got it.
Okay, so you're not peeing on the floor anymore?
Nah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they didn't have hay in the room. And the soft table was kind of funky. It was weird. So I slept on the floor and on that fancy rug. It was really nice.
You slept on the floor? You had a bed.
Was a bed.
The soft table was a bed. That's what you sleep in.
Well, it was too soft for my liking, so.
You need to get him a firmer mattress. So are we good? We're not going to get raided by spellhounds or something for me, are we?
No. I'm pretty sure she took care of that yesterday because, you know, we have like a blanket license for magic users. Like we got guys that, you know, do like healing stuff, so we need to have this little shards for those guys.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, I think you're cool. I mean, they may fuck with us and we have to jump continents again. But, you know.
Just want to make sure it won't be too much trouble.
Great.
So what now? He looks out the window and sees Meb sitting there with like a little fucking prestidigitation like exclamation point, and he's just like,
"Oh no, I like that better. It's a headband, like with."
Oh my god! He looks out and he sees Meb and he's like, "Okay, after breakfast we'll go talk to Meb, I guess."
Actually, no more. What you really see is you see Meb sitting out there, and there are people filing out of the mess talking to her, and she's like pointing to paper and talking to them, and then she signs something and hands it to them, and then they go off like in groups to do stuff.
Oh my god.
This is what she does for the first few hours of the day.
I love the idea of her in a headband though.
That's so funny.
You can only turn in quests when she's got the quest hat on.
I love this. No, it is. It's absolutely a tiara with an exclamation point like wire on it.
That's so funny. She is so cute.
I would die for Meb.
All right. You fucks. She says. She looks at all of you.
What do you have?
I got quests. What are you looking for? Maybe we can make a deal.
What do you want me to do for you?
All right, you got a choice. All right, so what we're going to do, and about that moment, walking up to your group through the tent city, and she kind of turns over, and when she turns, the little exclamation point hat kind of wobbles, and she goes, "Well, hello! She stands up real quick, runs over to you and sticks a hand out. She says, I suppose this means what I think it means?
Yeah, I can take some time away from the guild.
Yes! And she reaches her hand out and grabs you. Surprisingly firm handshake. Come on, come on. I guess you can go ahead and get you started. First things first, you got to sign this contract, and I can help you out with all the things. Don't worry.
What's a part of it?
Huh?
What does it say? I'm just basically he's just making sure that it doesn't conflict with anything that would affect
what it
his
says
guild.
specifically is you travel with the caravan, you have to do one job for Meb a month. After that job's done, you can quit. Like at any time you can quit. The next month starts, you owe her a job again. During that time, after you've done the job, she provides housing, food, medical, all that stuff, and you get paid 30 gold when the job is complete. You can help other people with their jobs, but it doesn't count for you. That's it. Pretty simple.
Interesting. Wonder if she's gonna stab us in the back.
I'm not like some kind of evil grimdark grandpa.
This seems to be too good to be true.
No, I just have a very specific amount of things I want, and most of it's very dangerous to get.
What exactly do these jobs entail?
Well, they're about to pick one, so here we go.
You expect me to go with these people, the ones that almost got me in trouble?
We can get you in trouble all the way next time.
Great.
She looks back down at the paper, and she goes, so, one of the two quests that I got for you, they got this one, so there's an item I'm looking for called a Stone of Broken Promises. Now, this item, they say this little puppy is out in the plateaus south of here somewhere. I want to get it, obviously, but anything that you find on the way is yours. The only intel I have is that a woman in the city, in Yerlik, named Aldrea Dufresre, that's a mouthful, had some info on it. No idea where she is, but the payout for this one, besides what you normally get, is whatever you find. You can get extra shit on the way. I don't give a shit. Fucking keep everything. Give me the stone. It's mine. The other option is, and she flicks the paper out, an obsidian chess set. Okay, so now there's an old ghost town to the southwest of Yerlik that burned down a few years back. I think some beasties have taken up residence there, but it's nothing that you can't handle. Anyway, the reason I want you to go is that there was an old man there who won a chess tournament in the capital of Morta a few years ago, prior to that big fire, and then he died, but nobody ever recovered his chess set. So I want you to go get it for me.
Might be good to not be in the city, seeing as your reputation.
I like the second one because I get to punch things.
As soon as you hit 100 punches, too, the wraps, like little runes appear on them. Just, and now they give you that bonus that you read about. Are you guys going to go somewhere? Pick a quest? Like what we doing?
Yeah, we'll take the one that's in the creepy ghost town you mentioned.
All right. She throws it down. Who's signing it? Who wants to get their quest done today?
Me!
All right, Egg, place your paw here. All right, you good to go. Again, information I got for you. Old burned down village, looking for an old man's house. Chest set, made of obsidian. Might be some monsters. Good luck.
So, what are all y'all specialties?
Well, I'm usually good at getting away. I don't know why I didn't get away from that god in the.
It was pretty easy to catch you.
I was distracted.
Right.
Look, I wouldn't have made it this far if I sucked at my job. Okay. Yeah, I steal things. That's what I do. And this is Cassio. Like I said, I went in to steal something, came out with him. I would have much rather come out with a watch, but you know. Mm-hmm.
So I'm a cleric of Alestri.
Oh,
Cleric.
I'm a little quick stabby guy with occasional magic. He's punchy. He's blind arrow something.
I hope that works out. Doesn't sound like it would.
He's the blind arrow. That's how you know he's good. And you, I actually don't know what she do.
She gets hyenas.
She's very good with animals.
I am.
Oh.
She tamed 3 hyenas in a matter of apparently like trying to.
And what about you, Goliath?
I'm grumpy.
Welcome to the party. What's so different? Congrats. Do you want a flower?
Damn.
I love pyre.
Easy there, Doc.
I'm a blacksmith, not a doc.
You fix things, you make them better, right?
No.
What can you do with Cass? Because Dopey over there is getting on my nerves.
Oh, that just seems like your problem. So are we just going to leave now, or are we leaving
If everybody's ready, we can leave now.
as part of the blessings I'm able to give thanks to Alestri? I can bless one of your weapons, so that's a bit more refined. It essentially gives it a +1.
You can bless these hands.
No.
Well, since you can't bless his hands, I'll take you up on that.
You already owe me, so no.
Shit! What do I owe you? I can pay you.
Figure something out.
He starts digging around in his coin purse. Like, I'm really bad at buying gifts, you know.
But I forgot my Warhammer, so I need to make that real quick.
Oh, okay.
It'll just take an hour. So, and you see him just kind of sit back and pull out literally a bar of metal and a piece of wood and set it in
Oh, you're
front
going
of
to
him.
make it right here.
And he literally starts just humming this song. And as he starts humming, the metal starts to, you can see it start to heat up and then slowly mold itself over the course of an hour into an actual like Warhammer's head, which then welds itself onto like the massive wooden handle. And after the end of the hour, it's a finely crafted.
Cass is sitting like cross-legged on the ground, like just watching wide-eyed with amazement.
Oh, I left something back at my forge.
Are you going to make
I'll
the
be back
forge?
in a bit.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not.
I thought you were the forge at this point.
You all, as you guys are chilling there and like just watching him make this thing, you do notice something kind of settle on Rook's shoulder, and it kind of taps its fingers.
Oh, hey,
and it
where have you
stands
been?
up like this, and it's a ghost hand, and it runs down his arm.
You've been hiding because there's so many new people.
He does this. It does its hand side to side, kind of
The so-so.
so-so gesture, and then it floats over to where you're making the hammer, and then it kind of gets close and touches it, and then goes, and like shakes its hand violently, and like looks like it's in pain. He kind of flicks its hands off, and then kind of floats over to the next person, which is Cassio, and it starts
Digit.
playing with Cassio's hair,
What the fuck is that?
That's my friend. He's a mage hand.
and then it floats over to Egg, and it taps Egg on the nose,
Oh, that's the
What?
thing when you want to talk to the keys.
and then it scratches you under the
Yeah.
chin, and then it floats over to Estra, and it runs a finger along the horn, and then it flicks you in the forehead.
She tries to swat it away like it's a fly.
And then it zips down to your dog and it grabs the bone it was chewing on and hurls it. And then floats over to Jinx
I will fucking destroy you, hand.
and it taps you on the cheek
means he
and then
likes you.
floats away back to Rook.
He's been hiding. He's not good around new people, so I guess he...
Yeah, so in preparation, what is everybody doing? I need to know this.
Rook is just kind of making sure all his tarot cards are like, stocked, I guess you could say, with like the stuff they need to cast the spells.
So you've got all your material components.
Yeah,
you
he's got
all your gear.
all his material components, all his weapons.
Cassio, what are you getting together? I'm going to go around the table.
He doesn't know what to do.
Is he just following Rook around?
Yeah. That's all he does is follow
So
Rook.
what you see is Rook pull out a bunch of cards, and they have like double backing, and he's like tucking like materials and shit in there, and like
It looked like like someone inspecting.
Yeah.
I want everybody to understand how dope that is.
He puts his material components in cards, and then he casts his spells with the cards, and they get absorbed from the card when it's cast. Yeah. And it's like, and he's an artist, so he draws his own tarot cards. So
He's watching Rook, but the whole time he's actually working out. Like, that's just all he does as a hobby.
So he's just doing like push-ups.
doing
and shit.
push-ups,
Yeah.
or like he's literally like got all his body weight on one hand, and he's doing like full
Rook kind
on.
of glances over every once in a while, and he's like, he's impressed. He's like, so from what he's seen, he's excited to see you actually like
fight.
Yeah, like he saw you scuffle a little. Yeah, he's excited to see you actually fight. He's wondering if you're at all worth having around. Real quick, provisions. Can I get some? Is there potions that are available to us, or do I have to buy them, or what?
That's a good question. I would imagine that each one of you could get a minor healing potion.
Everything past that we have to buy.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and add that.
If you decide to visit provisions,
He is. Yeah.
then everybody can add a minor healing potion to their inventory. You overhear a conversation happening not too far from where you guys are. As two of the mercenaries are kind of talking. It's like,
Did you hear about that guy who's been making his way up from the south?
Oh, you mean the traveling duelist? Yeah, he was seen passing through the Gullet Forest. I think he said it's a knickknacks. Be pretty cool to see him live.
Oh, wait. Are we going to an actual town, or are we...
It's an old burned down town, and we didn't even get a name for it.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, I can go ask somebody, what the closest place to the southwest here was that burned down.
Hey, Meb.
Yeah.
What is this town called?
I don't fucking know.
I'm going to walk over to where she's at.
Yeah.
So, is this like a town where people live? Is this
It's
like
not
a
where
town
people
where...
lived. I don't know if there's anybody there anymore.
Oh. What's this guy's name? Well, she doesn't know what the name of the town is, nor the guy's name, which seems... Do we have horses? So, are we walking, or are we renting, or riding horses, or animals?
I'm going to go find the name of this town, so if y'all want to rent those, go for it.
Egg's gonna go with Jinx.
Why are you following me?
Maybe I can talk to my guild.
Okay. Jinx is going to go and find probably one of the oldest people he can. An old person that seems like they have been around for a while. Hey. Hey, old man. Do you know of a town to the southwest of here that burned down? Like what its name, about how long by like horse or foot to get there?
Donaldson, is that you? Son, have you finally come home?
Oh, boy.
He pokes Egg
What?
and nods his head.
What do you want me to do?
Just be this. Just say yes.
Yes,
I thought you died in the war, son.
I thought so too.
You should have stayed dead.
I tried really hard. It didn't work.
And you come back for your old man, well, I won't let you have me. Dunk.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Just drink poison.
Maybe someone with a little more will to live.
Holy shit. So yeah, we go and find someone with a little more will to live.
Okay.
That is aged enough that could possibly know this information.
Yeah, there's an elderly man who's kind of sitting in the market district with a hat in front of him. He's playing a bongo. Well, hello. Would you like to offer some coin for a song?
I mean, sure, but could you also like give us some information while you play? And he tosses down a couple copper.
Okay, take 2 copper. Of course, what do you want to know?
We're looking for a town that burned down in the southwest.
A little village, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, the village of Haberstead.
Well, like how far of a walk or a ride would you figure it was?
From here, at a good travel pace, you're looking at about 4 days on foot, maybe a day and a half on horse.
I think I want to steal a horse now.
I also have +7 sleight of hand.
Yeah, but you can't sleight of hand a horse. That's the problem. Like,
Okay, so, what would you guys like to do now?
Should we try and steal a horse?
I mean, it's completely up to them.
A minute ago, I'm like, oh, I can actually probably steal a horse.
Rook, when you propose stealing a horse, Rook is like, no, we should go ask Meb first and then steal the horse.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, pause this music.
And we should tell her that if she doesn't give us a horse, we're gonna go steal one.
So it's a smash cut, and then it's Meb. You want to do what? And you see the hat.
Rook pushes Estra up because she's like the favorite. Her and Egg.
We need a horse.
We need a horse.
Good luck.
Okay, if you won't give us one, then we're going to steal one.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm glad to have your blessing.
So, back at the guild hall where I was going to go talk to one of my guild representatives, I want to see if you can borrow a couple horses.
Okay, so, Pyre. You meet up with one of your guild representatives who steps out. I really wish I had my name generator pulled up.
Bob.
Robert. Robert,
The builder.
the constructor. So Robert says, "Hello, Pyre. What can I do for you?"
Why is Grant in this game? He just can't stay away.
I am not Grant. I'm Robert.
You're Grant pretending to be Robert.
This mustache.
What
here?
does Robert look like? Does he look like Grant with a mustache?
He looks like Grant with a mustache. Absolutely. He looks like Grant with a mustache.
So, I was seeing if it was possible that we'd be able to procure a couple horses.
Of course, you can procure a couple of horses. How many
Right.
do you need?
To be honest, for one of them, we have a rather large Goliath I'd be traveling with. I need potentially a war horse to be able to carry someone of his size.
I don't know about a war horse.
Or a very sturdy pony.
Very sturdy pony. I'll get it handled.
Sure. You able to do it in the next couple hours?
Check back with me.
Sure.
Okay. There's your Grant cameo. You go outside to the stable, and the stable boy's like, Mr. Pyre, hello. Yeah, I'd like to get these horses hooked up for you. What kind of saddles are you looking to get on them?
Let's see, I got a halfling,
Uh-huh.
tiefling,
Yep.
human,
Uh-huh.
Goliath,
Yep.
myself.
Uh-huh. Well, you have a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, finishes tightening up the saddles on the last horse. He goes, and he has them all tied together so you can lead them.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, all right, be safe out there, Pyre. We don't want to lose you.
Did you get a horse for Egg?
Nope.
I didn't think you could ride a horse.
So you walk up on us in the midst of about to steal a horse.
So, are we ready to go?
No, we need to get horses.
I have them, Egg.
Oh.
He's blind. He
I
doesn't see
realize.
them.
Oh, did you steal them?
No, I talked to my guild. Reputably. Lawfully.
That's boring.
Legally.
This dude's a square.
Who here can ride a horse?
Well, I'm way too small. I could barely fit on one, really. But
Good thing you have Egg to help.
what am I gonna ride? Egg?
I can ride a horse.
Oh, okay.
I realize that you're blind. How exactly are you able to get around so well?
He like fluffs out his wings and he's like, well, I have these.
That's not going to help you on a horse.
I can guide the horse. I'll guide the horse. You ride behind me. How about that?
Great.
We'll be a team, a horse riding team.
Cassio, can you ride a horse?
Hell no.
How about this? You can sit on the back, and I'll tie you to the back of my horse. All you got to do is stay on.
Am I allowed to ride the horse?
You are certainly allowed to ride the horse, Cass. The horse is just for you.
This is my horse?
For now.
Okay.
All right, so you guys all get saddled up and ready to move.
Cassio, just hold on to the reins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tighten your legs a little bit around the horse. Don't squeeze it to death, just enough so you don't fall off.
He squeezed a little bit. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Your ass is going to hurt in about 2 hours.
I gotta sit like this for 2 hours?
You're gonna sit like that for a day and a half.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
If you'd like, you can pet the horse's mane.
He sits completely still and he's just like, he's not even gonna move from that spot. Like, he thinks this is how the horse works. Hey, Red, look at me. I'm on a horse.
I see that.
So we're good to go. We know where we're going now.
Yeah, southwest to
Haberstead.
Haberstead. If anybody has a map with Haberstead on it, I have a map. Rick digs out his map.
It's not on the map.
He rolls it up.
So to southeast.
Southwest.
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 Southwest we go.
All right, you guys begin to travel. Now, it's pretty simple. Your first day of traveling, you pass across a series of hills through a small part of the northernmost section of the Gullick Forest, and you worm your way up and around to the south of Gur. And just kind of southern of that area right there, you start to come across like an old road that seems to have been mostly overgrown. And it's nearing dawn. You see the silhouette of a broken city on the horizon. And painted by the distant sunlight just barely beginning to break that same horizon, you see something else nestled in the grass close to the city. At this distance, you can't describe them any more than enormous bones sticking out of the ground near the city. And the sunlight eventually comes up to the point that it's starting to be very warm on your bodies, and that heat is beginning to bake down on you and it's time for you to retire.
So, are we stopping or?
Well, we have to stop. I don't think everybody can.
How far off are we off from the town?
You're guessing probably another 2 hours.
So, I guess it's time to set up camp. I guess.
Rook stops, his horse and everything. Once they find like they find a spot, I guess, for camp.
So, who has first watch?
I can do it.
Don't fall asleep.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and make a Constitution save for me.
5.
Rook, you are sitting awake for probably about an hour and a half, and you're probably what are you doing?
Probably playing cards with Digit.
You're playing cards with Digit, and then you're not off. About 4 hours later, Pyre, about 4 hours later, you kind of wake up on your own. You're a little late to the watch. You're about 30 minutes late.
Hey, it's trying to... Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I kick you in the side. Hey!
Oh, what? Oh.
One thing.
Huh?
That's... You had one job.
Well, just whatever.
Digit's like mimicking his motions when he points at you.
The hand gets it.
Throws a thumbs up at Pyre.
You didn't wake me up.
Does like a shrug.
Look, I'm sorry, but we didn't die, so.
Yeah. Great. I'll take this watch and go get yourself some shut-eye.
Okay.
All right, Rook, you knock out. Pyre, you're up. Make a perception check for me, please.
11.
11. Okay. You look around, and at first everything seems hunky-dory. Check on the horses. They're good. Check on the people. Everybody seems fine. And then you notice not 15 feet out of the little encampment you guys have made, there has been a spear stuck in the ground, and a mutated looking head has been stuck on the top of the spear. And it has the whole top part is like teeth with an eye.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like mouth is open, and it's just like a gored monstrous head.
Is it like a fresh head or is that a skeleton?
No, it's a fresh head. It's still dripping.
Well, that's a welcoming invitation. Well, it'll be a story for when they wake up.
Yep.
I'll just go back and try and keep an eye out to see if I see any movement or
Throughout the
anything.
rest of the rest, nothing happens. Just that head slowly bakes away in the sun, and as the heat continues to hit it, because it's out in direct sunlight, you just see it dry up. And as soon as the sun is setting and the moon is rising, it is time to wake people up.
All right. Hey, everyone, wake up. Yoth is gone.
So, did anything happen? Are we good?
Yeah, you missed some guy sticking something in a stick over there. Go take a look.
Oh.
This happened on your shift because it was there whenever I walked up.
What do you want me to do about it? Find its owner?
No, I want you to not go to sleep on a shift and get us all killed.
I'm new to this, okay? I usually travel alone. I'm still getting used to this.
So you go to sleep on... All right.
Yes, I would go to sleep. There's no one else to watch.
Hey, there's something in the woods.
What is something?
Yeah, okay, so you kind of stop and listen, and you hear the footstep.
All right, everybody, be careful. Whatever that is big.
Great.
Big to you, not just me.
Protect the horses. We kind of need those to get back.
As you say that, from the shadows, a claw just grabs one of the horses and rips it in half. The other half of the horse's carcass is dragged off into the woods. And you just see, basically you see this hulking figure in the shadows, and you can clearly see its chitinous claw as it drags the horse's body back into the darkness. Yeah, so what you saw is this thing kind of scuttle out, like, when it grabbed it, and what you saw was this chitinous body with two enormous claws, 4 sets of legs, and like tentacles pouring from the mouth as it slashed that thing into pieces, sliced the horse in half, and ran back and put the body in its tendrils as they picks it apart with its teeth. All right, let's go ahead and get that initiative.
I had a 13.
Pyre with 13, Egg with 11,
Rook got 18.
Rook with 18, Cass is 20. Okay. What did Jinx get?
15.
What did Esther get?
9.
But yeah, so you guys all draw your weapons. First person up is Cassio.
All right. So I don't know what's going on yet. So he's just gonna ready himself.
So you're gonna hold your action, or do you want to?
I'm gonna hold it.
He's gonna move up to there and then shoot. Yep. So he doesn't take disadvantage. Nah, that doesn't.
What was it?
7.
So you and it skips off of its carapace and
Yeah.
falls into the ground nearby. Jinx.
All right.
You Wolfman, didn't you?
Yep, right before, and then so he's gonna use his bonus action at bloodiest weapon. So.
All right, so we see Cass like drop into stance. Rook shoots an arrow out. It glances off. Jinx like runs around like on all fours for a second, slices his face. You see his blades like spark as he comes up to the front and starts moving into position. Pyre.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I am going to. I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt on it.
Okay.
Guiding Bolt, I make a spell attack against it. So. That's a 12.
You like whip your hand back, and a hammer made of fire falls into your hand, and and it flies out, and the creature just swats it out the way with one of its monstrous claws, and it kind of disperses. The next person up is Egg.
Woo! Egg's gonna shoot at it with his crossbow. Oof, that's 10.
So you and it crashes into this thing's arm as you take a shot, and it arcs through the air. The bolt hits into the carapace, but doesn't quite bite enough to take purchase, and it begins to kind of saunter forward. All right, Estra, you're up. Believe it or not, it actually rolled at the bottom of the initiative.
I'm gonna try and hit it with a crossbow.
Okay. Estra, you are way too far away.
I was about to say first I'm gonna move though. It was an 8.
How much? Total? So you and it like again skips off of its carapace. Okay. It's the creature's turn. The monstrosity runs forward, and now you notice a large chitinous tail trailing behind it as it moves to Pyre. It runs up to Pyre, and it makes.
Hey there, beastie.
Yeah, this, and it's gonna come at you with a claw.
Yep.
7 plus 6.
Misses.
So it comes back up and swings at the other pincer.
14.
Yeah.
Misses.
So, and then it comes overhead with both pincers, and you just stand there and kind of grind back into the dirt. All right, next person up is Cass.
Let's see. So Cass has 40 movement speed. So yeah, put me next to it. And then I'm going to do an unarmed strike. 21 to hit.
That will hit it.
5 points of damage. Yeah, and then I'm gonna do a flurry of blows. Burn a key. Which I don't know how's that one work?
It just gives you
to make another attack.
Yeah,
is it just the same thing as unarmed strike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
you use your bonus action? It essentially gives you another attack as your bonus action.
Okay.
So 18.
That hits.
Crit fail. 6 to hit the damage.
6 damage?
Yeah.
Okay, Cass with the fucking damage actually doing something to this thing.
And then he's gonna back up to 10 feet.
So yeah, so what happens is Cass, as this fight is going on, everybody's like wailing on this thing with everything they've got, like bows, shots, fucking arrows flying through it, and magical hammers, and you kind of stumble like through everybody, like, whoa, sorry, pardon me. And as you like walk up, you just kind of like limp fist it, and when you hit, like with an overhead knuckle, it just cracks the carapace and blood oozes out. And then you spin around, and one of your kicks, boom, and you just see the carapace, boom, buckle. And all of a sudden the creature's like, I gotta hit you. So you go to throw another punch, and the creature swings its claw down, and everybody sees Cass get crushed by this claw. And then right between the claw, he whoop, and he's out, and he's gone.
What are we even worrying?
All right, next person up's Rook.
Just move me back one. Back one. Yeah, and he's gonna cast Grease. Underneath the creature. So what? 10 feet. It's not a lot. So he's just under the creature.
Great.
What?
the bane of my existence, grease.
Oh, so he's gonna run up and he is gonna, like, basically as he's running up, he's gonna be fishing around in his pocket. He's gonna toss out a card and it's gonna slide kind of like beneath the monster's feet, and then
That becomes difficult terrain.
yeah, and also it needs to.
Each creature standing in this area must make a dex saving throw or fall prone. So it's just it.
Dex saving throw is 12.
Okay. Fuck! It's prone. Not only is it prone, it's super prone. Yeah, it rolled a crit fail. So Rook runs, he slides, and he throws this card. So as he goes to take a step, its big like pincer foot hits the grease and just sinks into it, and it boom and just eats shit onto the ground.
Wasted.
Okay, that's it. It is now prone. Okay, next person up, unless you want to do anything else, is Jinx.
Jinx is literally just going to run up, jump, and bring both his axe and his sword down on this thing as it lays on the ground.
All right, you get advantage on both attacks. So go ahead and roll. Just roll your d20s all at once.
So 17.
That hits.
Well over 20.
Okay, that hits.
Let's see, that's D8 plus D4 for the electrical damage. 9 for the first hit, 12 for the second hit.
So yeah, you jump up, like kind of spring as you're running towards this creature. Pyre, you see him coming up, and you do that springboard shield thing, and like spring him up, and he jumps in the air and just wham, waylays into this thing's chest, and it thrashes. It thrashes as you jump back off of it, and blood just begins to gore out of it, this purple, hazy fluid. All right. Next person up is Pyre.
So, I'm going to reach out and pull out my Warhammer and cast Searing Smite on it, which causes fire damage and sets the creature on fire.
I want to believe the grease is.
It is flammable. we came to that decision because you use a pork rind to cast it.
That's a natural 19.
It
21.
Is.
Yeah.
It is.
So
Searing
that is a D8 plus a D6. So that's hold on, let me
How long is my precious child on
that's,
fire?
So that's 10 points of bludgeoning damage and 4 points of fire damage, and it has to make a Constitution save or be caught on fire.
Okay. What's the DC?
12. Now
it is on fire. Okay, I'm gonna draw a little fire symbol here to remind myself that it's on fire. Okay. All right. So that hurts. What's the duration, regardless?
1 minute, or until it saves out of it.
It's egg.
Woo!
Just aim for the heat, egg. Aim for the heat.
It feels hot over there.
No, that's me. God damn it.
Well, I rolled a 9, so.
Plus.
No, like 9.
Okay, so you, and it and skips off.
I am useless.
Y'all don't have any spells, the bards?
Oh, yeah, but.
Okay, so egg, you shoot the arrow and it just skips off of Pyre's armor. And he, what the fuck? All right, Estra, your turn. Go.
Not what I signed up for.
Well, I guess I'm gonna try and do rapid shot.
You need to move up a little bit, just a little, like 2 spaces. Okay, so you make your first attack roll. It's a disadvantage. So you roll 2 dice, take the low result.
12.
So that one skips. Try again.
8.
Yeah, it's gonna miss.
Yeah, just 8.
But you go, and like you make a really quick like reload with another bolt, and fire it again, and both of them just like flip off of the creature.
I tried.
Okay, cool. The creature is now, it's its turn. It's going to start off by taking 6 damage from the fire since it already failed its save because I rolled it early. Going to try to stand up. What's the dex save?
It can stand up. It just can't end its turn in it.
Oh, okay. So it stands up right here, and it will stay in Jinx's range
It'll leave mine though.
and leave yours. So you can swing
So
at
I'm
it
going
if you want.
to, I'm swinging at it with my Warhammer. Nope.
As the creature runs back, it's going to take 1 swipe at you, like as it's coming this way. Just try to take a snap at you. That is going to be 9 plus 6, which is 15. Misses. So it goes, and you just kind of block it. Then it realizes that it's not getting a hit on you. So it whips around and snaps at Jinx. I can't hit. It whips around and snaps at Jinx, and it just kind of whiffs completely. Next person up is Cassio.
Kick its ass, Cass. Run up. Fury of Blues. Not that yet. I'm gonna do my basic attack first. 18.
18 hits.
All right. So
And you flurry of blows. Just go ahead and roll all your hits.
12.
Misses.
Okay.
2 hits.
Plus 3 is 4. 5.
So the total is 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then of course disengage.
And skip back to your feet. That's such a good fucking. As soon as this thing like skitters away out of the fire, Cassio just is like laughing, and he like runs up and then just kind of like flips through the air. And as this thing's pulling its claw out, he hits it in the joint, and you hear a sickening, and it like stumbles backwards. And then Cassio, you grab one of its tentacles and just boom, cock it across the face. And right as its tentacle goes to grab you, you kick off its chest and flip away and land in like a posture, just giggling like an idiot. Rook.
He's gonna shoot with his short bow.
Okay, you have advantage.
Have advantage?
Because an ally's within 5 feet.
Cool, then I get
You get your sneak attack, yeah.
17 plus 5. So, 12 damage.
Jesus.
He hits like a train when he has advantage.
Yeah, so you, as Cass like skips off of its chest, Cass, you flip over an arrow soaring beneath you that nails this thing in one of its eyes, and it thrashes on the ground with its broken arm. All right, next person up is Jinx.
Yeah. We're gonna do the quintessential Jinx. So I take 3 damage, so that the damage I do to it is doubled, and or for my electrical damage is doubled. 17 plus 5, so it's gonna hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
And 3 plus 5.
That's gonna miss.
All right. 8 electrical damage then. So 10 standard damage and 8 electrical damage.
Yeah, so Jinx, you, as this thing is like screaming and like lurching back trying to get away, you run up with the sword and it scrapes the chest and doesn't quite connect. Then you spin around and just plant the axe in the middle of its head. And it just, and it goes, and falls over dead.
No, what the fuck was that? Pyro walk over and start like rummage around its face and see like if you can figure out what it is.
Okay, hold on one second. What was I doing? My brain was dying. Oh, that's it. D&D Beyond. That's what I need. D&D. D&D Beyond. Thank you, Sam Regal.
Bless his heart.
D&D Beyond, if you would like to sponsor us, please contact us at...
Please sponsor us.
At thehomebrew.com.
I need you to make an Arcana check.
Arcana check? Great. 18!
Okay, this is an aberration called a chul. These are deep sea creatures, like monstrosities that generally live in the waters. They're usually described as like a sailor's myth, but you know them to be true and real. Generally, these creatures sleep during the day and come out at night. Likely, you're willing to bet that it was drawn by the sound of your horses.
It's weird. This is a chul, essentially a sea-based creature, usually.
What's it doing here?
That's what I was just wondering.
I mean, the nearest thing is the damn lake.
Can I go try and investigate where it came from? Like where we saw it like come out from the woods?
Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
15.
Okay. I mean, it looks like it came from the city you guys are trying to get to.
So, and come back and it's weird as it came from the city that we're about to head to. So, ironically, that makes me think that there's some kind of possibly underwater cavern or lake or something. Because if I'm correct, these things don't really live outside of water.
That's odd. I guess we'll just have to go there and find out what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Who wants to ride with me?
Cass raises his hand.
To be fair, Cass, you're a bit big to be riding double up. So, fortunately, we need one of the smaller people.
I'm the shortest that isn't the halfling.
All right.
When you're about 15 minutes out, the city appears to crest a hill. As you begin to crest this hill, and you notice that that seems to be a common trend among cities here, is that they all seem to be built like on hilltops, which makes sense. It makes good for getting rid of rainwater. The city is decrepit and broken. Those things you thought were bones, they are huge ribs, it looks like. And near where they're settled in the ground, you see a cave-like structure, and you can feel the humidity coming out from those caves as like the flesh that is now around them squirms and like pulses. Occasionally you hear like a and up inside the actual city proper, you can hear like a soft like
What the fuck is this? I mean, does it look like the bones have any structure to them? Like there was like a rib cage?
It looks like a rib cage all around the city. Like the inside of the city is like inside this rib cage right now.
What the fuck?
And there's still flesh on the bones.
There's flesh growing up the bones.
I want to turn around.
Is this a fiend?
It is a fiend.
Ah, okay. So I get an advantage on intelligence checks to figure out what kind.
Okay, it would be a nature check.
8 or 17 with nature.
Yes. Based on what you've seen so far, this reminds you a lot of the kind of creepy shit that shows up whenever the Order of Tide has set up somewhere.
The Order of Tide.
It's a cult of fishermen and like coastal livers and things like that believe that the great beast in the ocean that has not been seen for centuries, known as the Kraken, is somehow a holy symbol or a holy figure, and they worship it. Whatever's going on here, you're pretty sure is tied to that, just based on the kind of like familiarity, and like there's usually a lot of flesh growing in places, and bones are jutting out of shit, and there's like crazy crab creatures in the woods. It's like, kind of equaling up to what you've seen before when it comes to dealing with these guys.
Fuck.
What?
Again. Yeah, this is seems like the Order of the Tide. They're like coastal folk that believe that the Kraken is like their deity or some shit.
So I wanted to let you know that as you continue to move, and you're welcome to keep your conversation, but as you continue to move, you start smelling like bile, like the smell of like acidic stomach acid. When you can kind of feel your eyes getting watery just by entering this area.
What the fuck is going on in this town?
Look, we are just here for a chessboard, so if we get the chess set and run, I mean, we don't have to stick around.
What's with you and running?
Just to clarify, I don't always run. We can fight and clear out the entire town of these crazy people if you want.
Oh, no, I don't really care. I was just asking.
Oh, okay. Well, to answer your question then, it's quicker. We won't be here for 3 days clearing out kooks and their crazy little demon babies.
As long as you don't run in the middle of a fight.
No, I will not do that.
Just like sleeping on the job.
Well, okay, that happens, but I will not run in the middle of a fight.
No, you also said you weren't going to sleep on the job, so...
I can't control falling asleep.
Right.
I can control running away. That's a conscious decision.
Of course.
You've never fallen asleep because you were tired?
No. Not when I had a job to do.
Digit's just thrumming your shoulder and like annoyedly throwing your shoulder.
He reaches up and pats Digit. Look, you aren't the first person to throw shit at me. It's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll get along eventually, I'm sure.
You guys are now approaching the city.
Keep your eyes peeled. Don't fall asleep.
I won't fall asleep! Pyre, you are a man that needs to learn to let go. Just unclench.
Unclench from what?
This.
I mean, if I unclench, then I'll fall off the horse.
You know what? I'm gonna let this go because nobody else here can.
All right, you guys have arrived at the city.
What do we see?
You see the silhouette of the broken city now is coming into full view. Broken wooden houses and stone structures have sent debris rolling down hillside, but where it has probably been settled undisturbed for a very long time, small bits of flesh have grown over the rocks and are now starting to pull these rocks back into the earth. You do see occasionally a stalk that looks like it would be a plant with a flower. The flower parts are teeth, and the center part is an eye, and underneath it you see a little jaw. You recognize this as the thing that was stuck to the pipe earlier. You guys are now walking up towards the city.
Am I still asleep? What the fuck is going on? He punches Rook.
That's not how it works, you fucking idiot. I'm supposed to punch you.
Ow!
You guys make your way up into the city. What would you like to do? You're approaching the city.
I'd like to leave.
You're welcome to it.
No. I wouldn't make it going back.
Kaz is walking up behind you, real shaken after that fight. He's with his tail between his legs. Rook, make a perception check.
Nat 20.
You immediately identify, as you're approaching the city, 2 makeshift guard towers that were hard to see. They look like they were part of the wall. And you see these little creatures. They're about as tall as you are, with crossbows pointed at you. And they fire.
He's gonna shout for everybody to duck, basically.
Yeah, they
Watch
missed
out.
you guys because Rook is able to tell you, oh shit, get down. And the crossbow bolts go wide. But I'm gonna need you guys to roll initiative.
Oh shit. There's another nat 20.
Okay, you guys can spawn anywhere in front, like that way in front of this tree, okay? Okay, is everybody else off their horse except for Jinx?
Yeah.
12.
Like with the 12.
7.
And with Esther with the 7.
15 again.
Jinx with the 15.
3.
Pyre with the 3.
I got a solid 3. I'm not very fast. I'm
Natural 4, -1.
more of a brawny man.
All right, so what you see, mounted up atop these little guard posts, and now running up to the gate are these squat, halfling-sized, bug-eyed fish people, and they have like purple flesh and like jagged-looking blades and fishnet on their bodies, and they look. Does anybody here speak deep speech? But so they kind of chatter at each other like, and then they move forward to attack. Rook, you're up.
Fuck it. I'm gonna try a trick shot.
Against which one?
This one up here, kind of towards.
Okay. You roll with disadvantage.
Yeah, I know. Does a 14 hit him?
Yeah.
Cool. Then I get a crit. So basically, he's like, "Hey, Digit, come on!" And he aims, and he kind of aims like way off. Like he aims like almost just negligible and shoots. And so like they can very clearly see he's not aiming anywhere near them. And then Digit is invisible and like on the arrow and like guides it back around in the back of the thing's head.
So he like steers the arrow, so you and that magic hand goes.
It's only 4 and then
Your dex. And that's not double, it's just your dex.
7.
7 points of damage. So it's like you just see it like cough up some blood. Yeah, that one is not looking super great. Okay, next person up is Cassio, unless Rook wants to move.
Is there a way up here that I can see?
Yeah.
Where?
It's just uphill. Just keep
Oh,
running.
okay. This isn't like a wall or anything?
No, there's an opening between the wall right there.
Okay, he's gonna dash then, and that doubles my speed.
Yes.
So he's gonna move up just a bit, get a little closer.
That's where he'll end.
And he's gonna... Yeah, this will.
All right, Cassio.
So is this a ledge?
Yes, that's a wall.
Okay.
They're up on top of these little shitty things they've made.
I'm gonna have to burn a key.
And you're running uphill towards the gate.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn a key so I can move faster.
So what is it? A dash?
Double my speed.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna run up to that one over there. I'm gonna hit him.
Okay, swing.
18.
That hits.
Right.
You run up and just boom and punch him, and it cracks some of his teeth as it kind of falls backwards. The other ones all kind of turn to you to immediately address the now sudden issue of a person right in their face. Jinx, you're up.
I'm gonna run up to this guy and just 2 regular attacks and just swipe into him.
Okay.
16 and 10 for the hits.
The 10 won't, but the 16 will. You run up with the great axe and the sword, and you swing with the great axe and connect with this thing like in the shoulder as it, and then it takes its hooked blade and it catches the great axe and kind of steers it into the sword blow, knocking the other shot away. All right, next person up is the one that Cassio attacked. It is going to take its staff, which has pincers on the end of it, and is going to thrust it at Cassio.
Yeah, it hits.
Okay, good. So it deals 5 points of damage, and you are now grappled. It is now going to take half its movement and move with it. So it whips at you with this pincer staff. It hits you in the leg, and it goes, and then begins to drag you backward.
Man, this little guy's got some kick to him.
Next person up is Egg.
So if I'm casting a spell, do I use the modifier or this spell attack?
It
the spell
depends
attack?
on the spell.
Yeah. What spell are you trying to cast?
Yeah.
Dissonant Whispers.
Okay. So does it say that they have to make a save? Does it list?
Yes, they have to make a save.
Yeah. So you just cast it, and it works if they fail their save.
Yeah. So I want to cast that on the green guy right there. And he has to save for wisdom save for 12. Yeah, and if it saves, it takes half. Yeah, 15.
Okay, it's half rounded up, so 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a good hit. Okay, so basically you pull your dulcimer out. And everybody else just kind of hears you play. And what the creature hears is this discordant... Boosh, grabs its head and its eyes start to bleed. Next person up, or next one up, is the guy who shot at Rook earlier. He's going to wheel around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One over here.
I'm about to get fucked.
And you're in a grapple. This guy's going to take a swing with his hook dagger and a bite at Cassio. So that's going to be a 6 plus 4, so 10. Nope. And then the second one, which is the bite, is 17. That one hits. Okay, the bite does 4 points of damage. So it reaches out and it snaps onto your leg after you kind of skirt away from the dagger. Okay, next person up is going to be the frog-looking one. That one that just got its ears destroyed screams and leaps from the ballista over to where Egg's at. Not the ballista. Leaps from the battlement. Thank you. Leaps from the battlement over to where Egg's at. Just and it, boom! When it hits the ground, it slides along the ground like it's covered in some kind of goo, and then it comes up and it thrusts its pincer spear at you. Okay, that is a 20 to hit.
Yeah.
Not a nat 20. Okay, so it hits you, does 5 points of damage. You're grappled, and then it's going to go for a bite. And that is another 20. So that's going to be 4 points of damage. So it, boom, hits you with the pincer, and then bites you. And it's trying. It can't move this turn because it used all its movement, but it's going to try to drag you away. All right. Next person up is Estra.
Cool. Blind. Which one was it? No, I can't do both. I had to choose between blind or deaf.
Hold on, I'm looking for blindness, deafness because I wanted to read the rules. You pull your ocarina out and you play a quick like, and it like from that like moment of sound, the air around this thing starts to sizzle and like it's gonna pop or like spike its eyes, and the thing manages to kind of weave its head out of the way as the magic boom detonates and it manages to skip out. Okay, next thing up is the guy up there on the last guy on the top. And he is going to wham and land in here and then skirt around to where he's flanking Jinx. And then he's got a pincer one and he's going to thrust it at Jinx. So, 16.
That hits.
Okay, so he grapples you, you take 5 points of damage. He jumps off the battlements, hits the ground, slides across the ground like he's made of some kind of fluid, stands up, hits you in the leg with the pincer thing, you're grappled from behind, and then he goes to bite you and you just kind of poof, like back in. All right, next person up is the red guy in front of Jinx, who is going to, he's gonna just wail on Jinx. He's gonna hit him with a dagger and a bite. Okay, the dagger 14 plus 4, so 18, that hits. And the bite is 20. It's not a nat 20 though. So the bite does 4, the dagger does 4. So you take 8 points of damage. So he and cuts you. He's gonna actually go ahead and, now that he's done his damage to you, and he feels confident since his friend has you grappled, he's gonna run. And you can swing at him if you want.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 13. So does 13 hit this little dude?
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay. So 4.
4 points of damage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's down. So he's not dead, but as you runs past you just kind of whip around and boom, nail him in the back, and he just keeps sliding down. Like he kind of like gets on his feet and kind of starts to slide downhill as if it's like a ramp. Pyre, you're up.
All right.
You're on a mount.
I am.
The horse's move speed is way better than yours.
And smack him with my warhammer. Nope. That's a 5.
So you sprint up and swing with your warhammer, and this thing kind of slides underneath it and goes, and then stands up and.
This is not a war mount. Yeah, as my bonus action, I'm gonna cast spiritual weapon. I'll make an attack on the same guy I just hit.
What is your spiritual weapon? I'm guessing it's a hammer.
Obviously, it's a hammer.
There's just this giant
It's a massive
maul.
yeah.
Just.
That's a 23.
That hits.
Yeah.
That, on the other
So, yeah.
hand, hits.
Right. 3 points of damage.
You see Rook, this horse, come charging past you with Pyre on the back, and you see him whip off this hammer and go for a golf swing. This thing slides underneath it, and when he misses with the hammer, he spins back, puts his hand back, shouts a divine word, and this hammer just kind of materializes out of the air and just smites this thing, and it kind of stands back up, rocked by the blow. All right, next person up's Rook.
Rook is gonna use a bonus action to perform a dash, and he's gonna to get up to the top of that wall. He's gonna see those little goblins making off with Cassio. He's gonna look at this one. He's gonna be like, "Hey, ugly!"
Cass looks too.
God damn it! Hold on, I lost my train of thought. He looks at this fish person right here as he's like reaching for a card. Have you heard about the goldfish that went bankrupt? Well, now it's a copperfish, and he throws the card, the fool, and it's hideous laughter. It's 12 wisdom.
It fails. Okay, so what happens?
It falls prone laughing.
Which one?
Oh, the one
that had him
closest.
grappled?
Yeah.
Okay, so but you throw the card and he goes and hits it, and then he goes and it drops prone and starts laughing.
Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand for the duration.
He's incapacitated.
Oh, incapacitated's different.
Oh, okay.
Incapacitated is specifically.
That's a specific thing? Like that's a...
Incapacitated is unable
Okay.
to stand. Hold on, I don't see the condition.
You can
It cannot take actions or reactions.
Yeah, which means it can't maintain a grapple.
Right.
So it drops the
So it does drop the... Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
well, it doesn't drop the thing,
It would
but it kind
drop
of
it.
lets go of the
Yeah.
grapple.
Yeah.
At the end of each of its turns, and each time it takes damage, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. The target has advantage on the saving throw if it's triggered by damage. So
Okay,
if you
so
hit
it's
it
losing
can...
its shit right now.
Yeah,
and
it's like-
it's let go of its grapple on you. Okay, next
Yes.
person up is Cassio.
I'm gonna attack the one in. I'm gonna attack the one in front of me. Yeah. Crit fail.
You have advantage.
Ah, yeah. That's much better. 19 to hit it.
That hits.
And then I'm gonna use another key. 12.
12 points of damage?
No, 12 to hit again. I'm
That
just
hits.
okay. No, I don't crit on any of them, but I do hit all of them.
Okay, so you
But what I wanted to do was I wanted to hit the front one to like make sure he's flat on the ground, grab the staff, and then sling them behind me to hit the other one and knock them both down. Or not knock them down, but hit them both.
So how about this? The first 2 attacks hit this guy, and the third attack hits that guy.
9 damage for the first one, and then the second one takes 6.
So you, boo, and you go, and then sling him around and just boom, bash them together. And he's like, as he's still prone to the ground, laughing. Okay, let's see what if he saves out. Okay, he does succeed. And so he's like, boom. Oh, you can disengage if you want.
Yeah, because I used flurry of blows.
You can move your whole movement if you want to.
Put him that way, for like, I guess 20 feet.
So, Jinx, it's your turn. What are you doing?
Okay, so he's gonna go ahead and just sheathe the sword.
Two-hand the great axe.
Yeah, two-hand the great axe. And he's gonna two-hand the fucking axe straight down on this little fucker. Just nat 20. 23.
Against which one?
The one that has him grappled.
You stick that great axe like through his side. They're not dead yet, but it's hurting. Okay. Next up is You hear from down the cliffside off to the right a loud.
Oh no.
You see running up this massive white dragonborn comes sprinting. This guy has curved horns, white fur down his back. He's got a cloak that leaves snow behind as he runs, and he has this Leviathan greatsword made of bones. And he runs up and goes, he swings at this guy. All right, he's gonna swing and hit that guy, and he's gonna burn a spell slot to do Divine Smite. Egg is helping flank it, right? So he gets advantage. Okay. Yes, he hits. So 16 points of damage as he runs up and hits this guy, this little frog-looking one.
I am here to help.
All right. Next person up is that swing one he just hit. It's gonna spin around and try to hit him.
Good luck.
That misses. And the next one also misses. So he goes to hit him, and this is, you see this like his stance as he slams this shot into this guy. He goes to back up and he drops into a stance. And when this guy goes to hit him, he parries the shot, and then it goes to bite him, and he just hits him in the head with the pommel. And this is moving with the fluidity of a trained fighter. And you get the distinct impression that this is the duelist you heard of. Next person up is Egg.
Ooh, am I still grappled?
Yes, you are.
I'm going to cast Thunderclap.
He fails.
Okay. Takes 2 points of damage.
So yeah, you basically take your dulcimer and you, and then at the same time your wings, boom, hit together, just pulse out with a little bit of damage. Okay, the one that Cassia ran away from, not the one that's prone, looks down at his prone ally, goes, "We just lost," and then sprints over to where Cassia is at with his daggers. He's gonna swing twice with his little diggy dags. That misses, and that one probably hits. That one is a 23. All right, that's 4 damage. So he, like the first one misses, and he like you kick the shot out the way, and the second one catches you in the leg and scrapes up. All right, next person up is going to be little frog guy. The little frog guy that currently has Egg grappled, and Snow is royally fucking up. He is going to release his grapple from Egg, back up a step, and then spin around and try to grapple Snow. It's going to hit. And that is going to hit. So, that's 5, and Snow is now grappled. Okay, so Snow takes 9 points of damage collectively, and he is now grappled. You can also check off on your sheet if you are grappled or whatever. Yeah. I found out. It's pretty cool. All right, he's now currently grappled, and he's done for now. The little frog dude is going to just keep his grapple on Snow. Are you going to try to make an opportunity attack?
Sure.
You just want to try to hit him with your foot, or do you have a side knife?
I have claws.
Oh, okay, cool.
10.
10 plus anything?
No, it's just 10.
Okay. No.
These dice are not being my friends. These
okay.
are not dice
Next
friends.
person up. So Egg tries to slash him as he runs by, but he skirts away. Estra.
I'm gonna try and hit that little green dude that has Snow in a grapple. I'm gonna try and hit him with a crossbow. Fuck no. 7.
So do you want to take a rapid shot and try to shoot again?
Sure, why not?
This one's at disadvantage.
Ah!
So yeah, you hit.
Thanks for the good rolls, man.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your damage.
There's 4.
4 points of damage?
Yeah.
All right, next one up is the little goblinoid looking one. He finally stands up, turns, he goes 1, 2, 3, up the stairs, and he comes at Rook with his little pincer staff. Yes, that's going to be a 23 to hit.
Oh yeah.
So that hits, that's 5 points of damage, and you're grappled. And then he's going to try to bite you, which he misses. So he gets you by the leg and gets ready to start pulling you away. Okay, next person up is the one with the little hook knife that you are fucking up currently, who is going to take a shot at your horse.
Go for it.
You got a 20.
Yeah, not hits regardless.
Okay, that is going to do 5 points of damage, and he'll swing again.
Okay.
And that one is at 18, and that is going to also do 5 points of damage. So it just takes 10 points of damage.
Awesome. My horse is at 1 HP.
So it cuts at the horse. Next up is Pyre.
I'm going to get off of my horse And then I'm going to swing at it with my warhammer, but I'm going to dual wield. Yeah, two-handed. So I'm not wielding my shield right now.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a 21.
That will hit. Yeah.
All right, so that is a D10. That's 6 plus 3, so it'll be 9 points of damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack the same one.
Uh-huh.
If he's still alive.
He is.
With the spiritual weapon that's currently behind him. And that is a 23 again.
That hits.
And that is 5 points of damage.
It's like as the horse is getting cut, you jump off the horse and like kick him to like make him stagger backwards. Pull the warhammer off. You hear the loud like of the warhammer coming off of his back. You shoulder it, and then like a fucking railroad spike, you drive him down. He and backs up, and then from behind, boom! A spiritual hammer as he stumbles forward. These things are durable, but you are giving them the waylay. Okay. That means it's now the horse is gonna run the fuck away. Okay, next up is Rook.
I am just gonna attack it then. I'm gonna attack it with my short sword.
Who the fuck is this new guy?
There's a new guy.
17 plus 5.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your damage. Rook, you're like grappled by this thing. You draw out the short sword and you go to swing and you see it's about to duck. So you drop the sword to the other hand and come across low. And your lucky kicks in as you boom and nail it across the chest. Okay, next person up is Cassio. But the cool thing about a monk is you can drink a potion, then burn a key point, and boom, boom.
Yeah, I got 1 key left, so I'm gonna just do that. What do I do to use my potion?
You just
5 plus 2 brings me up to 15. Awesome. Then I'm gonna burn the key and then hit.
swing.
13
That hits.
and 20.
That hits.
12.
12 points of damage total?
Yeah.
This thing runs up at you, slashes you twice, you stumble backwards, pull off a thing, drink down all of this booze-laced health potion as it's cutting you, and then you spin the bottle around, shatter it over the thing's head, throw the crap away, and then sock it across the face. What you got, James?
Gonna spend his action to use his last hybrid transformation for the before a rest, and gonna use his bonus action to hit that motherfucker in the head with an axe again.
Go for it.
Oh, plus 5, 17?
That
Or
hits.
18?
You basically spin around. You spin around, and as you do, you go from being a Goliath to a monster-sized werewolf, and just uppercut this thing, and it takes it in the gut, and then pulls the axe back out as you pull away. Okay, next person up is Snow, who is going to. What he's going to do is just go ahead and waylay this guy. Okay, he is going to cast. Okay, as a bonus action, he's going to cast Thunderous Smite on his weapon, and that's going to be a hit. So he hits with Thunderous Smite, which burns it. Thunderous Smite adds 2d6 thunder damage to the attack. Then he's going to use Divine Smite, which he can use before, after he hits, which is going to add 2d8 to the attack. So he does 29 points of damage, and the enemy is pushed back. So you see Snow, he's grappled by this thing, and you see him whip his sword back, and then you see his breath freeze the air for a second in front of him as his fur bristles up, and his weapon glows once with divine energy. Lightning crackles along it, and then you hear the sound of thunder breaking the air as he hits this guy, and there's just a flash of light, and then this person has a bloody cross mark across his body and a hash.
That's a bit extra, don't you think?
It is only one way to do battle.
All right, next one up is Egg.
He's gonna shoot green guy with his crossbow. Pew pew. I forgot how math works. 17 plus 5.
That hits. Yes, that will do the hit.
4.
4?
4 damage.
Total? Okay. So you and it and throws up. It has a hit point left.
All right, I'll give Snow inspiration. It gives him a D6. He just shouts, "Thanks for helping!"
It is my pleasure.
He throws a thumbs up and then gets hit. All right, next person up is one of the goblins or one of the monsters who's gonna swing at Cassio, and he misses, and he misses. So Cassio's just like
Getting so tired of y'all shit.
just. Next person up is the little frog guy, who is going to like look at the condition of himself and draw out a knife and just stick it in his chest. And he drops to the ground dead.
What?
Estra, your turn. Can somebody please knock the frog over or remove him from the battlefield?
Bye, bitch. I guess I'll try and hit 8.
Nope.
That's what I thought.
The next person up is the goblin that's fighting Rook, or not, the creature that's fighting Rook, and it hears that guy's death cry. He immediately lets go of his grapple and run.
Oh! Yeah, you better run!
He's gonna use all his movement to get off the map. You can swing at him though if you want.
Oh, okay, cool. 18 plus 5, so yeah, that hits. 9 damage.
Okay, the one with the hook that's currently in a brawl with Pyre is going to run.
I hit.
Okay.
And I do 7 points of damage.
So you swing and just boom, hit him, but he.
You went 80
They're
feet.
within 80
He only went
feet,
80
yes.
feet. Cool. I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt on him.
Okay.
Another 19.
That hits.
That's a 23, so that's 46. 1, 2, 4, 10 points of damage.
A hammer appears in your hand. It dies. Rook, you're up.
That one that ran off, is it still within 80 feet?
Yes, it is within 80 feet.
Okay, cool. He's gonna take a shot at that with his short bow, yeah.
Oh wait, was that a 1?
That was a 2.
So you, and it just.
Fuck!
You'll get there.
I couldn't help but notice yours was called Guiding Bolt. Yeah, that's right.
9 does not hit it.
Cassio, you can move and flank though and get advantage.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
I thought if I moved, I'd take.
You as long as you move within its range.
Yeah, put me there. All right.
Okay, so roll again.
14,
That hits.
13, 7
7 points of damage.
for that second hit.
So you boom, you hit it, and you see it turn to run, and you grab it like by the back of the head, and just and its skull just smashes open, and it falls on the ground. That's it. Snow like wipes some blood off of his mouth. You see him like take his sword, and he does this, and he goes and disappears. And he reaches out and he puts a hand on your shoulder and pumps 10 hit points into you.
In response, Jinx puts his axe on his back, squares up with him, and then punches his fist together and then flexes his muscles.
And Snow looks at you, and then he pulls his cape off and.
Oh, you see Pyre definitely walk up through his chainmail. Through his chainmail, the big blacksmith forearm just.
Rook is just watching from the thing. He's just enjoying. He's just.
And so he like takes your hand and boom, gives you a man shake, and then turns over to you and boom, gives you a big man shake, and then reaches down to Cassio. Snow is exactly as tall as Jinx, which you're like 8 when you're in werewolf form. Yeah, so he's 8 foot tall. He's huge. And he's broad. He's built like a tank.
He hears like these tiny, tiny little feet, and then Rook's there, and he's just like, "Hi, I'm Rook."
He crouches down and sticks a hand out, very kind. It is a pleasure. My name is Snow, and you all are Rook,
Pyre.
Cassio.
Cassio,
Egg.
Egg. You in the back.
Estra.
Estra,
Jinx.
Jinx. I saw your fire last night, or this morning. I saw it, and that's why I come running. I was going to warn you that there is a beast I was hunting in the woods, stole my food. But I found its corpse! I found its corpse! And I knew you must have killed it. But then I thought, these stupid idiots are going to go straight for the buildings, like I would! And so, I had to come and help.
Well, we kind of had a mission, so.
I'm in!
Oh.
Oh, nice.
All right.
I have nothing better to do. I'm on my way to the next city.
Why were you hunting that beast?
It stole my food.
Yeah, it kind of killed one of our horses, too. So.
My condolences. He reaches down and picks his cloak back up and puts it back on. And you notice again, so he's a white dragonborn. He's got curled horns, fur that goes all the way down to his tail that comes out, and it ends in a tuft of fur, so it rides all the way down like a mane. He's this massive built creature, and his cloak is like kind of white gray, and at the very bottom where there would normally be like the seam it just kind of drips off into like what looks like snow drifts, and it just drips snow softly that lands on the ground and melts shortly after.
What is our mission? To cleanse this land from evil?
Actually, we're here to find an obsidian chess set, but
Just as good.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be evil between us and that chess set.
And that evil will be cleansed.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I'm loving this guy's energy. He's like you, but fun.
Are you saying I'm not fun?
Pyre, you still have time to prove yourself. I mean, it looks like we're going to be doing...
I've already proven myself. You're the one that's been making mistakes.
Are you two...
We just broke up.
I'm so sorry. Should I...
Yeah, I cut his shackles not too long ago.
No.
Hey, man, it's okay. It was mutual.
It is so bad to see a union end. I am emotional, please. Oh, I am caught up in my feelings. I'm sorry. I am ready when you are to go.
To be honest, some of you took some pretty nasty hits. It might be good for us to take a short rest.
Would that be okay?
I have a little tiny camp not 30 minutes away. Put us close enough to the city to get back quickly. We should go there. And stay very far away from here. And then come back here to find chests.
Your horse looks hurt.
Yes, I realize.
Hey, could you do what you did to me on that horse?
I am out.
That horse is worth more than 10 of me.
That is not true. You are priceless. But I cannot call you Rook.
Oh, you can't say
I
it?
cannot say it. I will not call you Rook. Can I? What do you do?
I don't know.
Little knife.
I mean, it's not that little.
Little
It's
knife.
like a toothpick.
It is like a toothpick. You have no big knife.
And he holds his hand out, and just materializing in it is that giant sword you saw earlier.
It's like a normal sized knife to me. It's not the size. It's the motion of the ocean. You know, you gotta.
The motion of the stab.
Yeah. It's all in how you use it. Anyway,
I'm
so
sure.
let's go.
So you guys make your way back to the encampment, and that's where we'll stop for tonight.